Hello, welcome back to another YouTube video. So as you can tell by the title of this video today, we're going to be running through Alphalete's new drop from the 13th of June. So it's a Thursday drop this time, it's not a Saturday guys. 12 PM CST, 6 PM UK time as normal, but it's on a Thursday. They are trialling some during the week drops. I'm intrigued to see how it goes because to be fair, when I've looked at it, they are one of the only brands that was still launching on a weekend. So it's going to be the new Tenacity drop, which is a brand new fabric. We've got 3 new sports bras and then we've got Amplify bottoms, some mesh pieces which are definitely new and they're a little out there, and some other new bits as well, t-shirts, cargos, etc, etc. I'll run you through everything. As always, I'm going to give you my 100% honest review on these things. If I think something's worth it, I'll tell you. If I don't think something's worth it, I will also tell you. So before we get into this video, these videos have the potential to reach a much wider audience. These are some of the most popular videos on my YouTube channel, and with that being said, if you are familiar with my channel, you will know ever since I've started it, I've never shied away from speaking about these topics. We've never shied away as a community from trying to help people and from trying to raise awareness for things, not being a sort of silent onlooker. That's been like a consistent theme on my channel regardless of the world issue, the political issue, whatever it is that's going on at the moment. So with that being said, I'll leave a list here of sort of resources for you guys. I know that not everyone is in the position to donate, so I'll leave some donation suggestions here to help Palestinian families and those in need, getting them aid, getting them help. You can actually help specific families as well. I will leave the information for that here, but I'm also going to leave a list of things that you can do that won't cost you any money to help, because it can feel really helpless, and the worst thing about feeling helpless is it can sometimes make people just think I'm not going to do anything because I just feel completely helpless, and I understand that feeling, but there are things that you can do. So I'm going to leave a little list of that here. Even by watching this video alone, you are helping, because every single penny of the Adsense raised from this video, so if you get ads, watch them, because I do believe watching the ads helps to generate more Adsense. Every single penny of Adsense on this video, and I've chosen this video because these videos do the best on my channel, they make the most money, so every single penny of Adsense from this video will be donated to Operation Olive Branch, which is basically an operation that's been set up where you can actually go through a list of families, and they've got GoFundMes, and you can help different Palestinian families either evacuate Gaza or help with getting them the aid that they need, but mainly evacuating people and getting people out of what is obviously a fucking horrible situation to be in. I've always for the past 2 years donated a percentage of all my social media earnings, so my retainer, my commission I get from Alphalete from code uses, my AdSense, everything. I've always donated a percentage for the past 2 years every single month to a local charity for the next few months, for the foreseeable, and I will let you know when that changes, because I want to be as open and transparent as possible. I will be donating a portion of all my social media earnings over the next few months, however long, to Operation Olive Branch or other charities that are helping people in Palestine, that are helping Palestinian families, helping Palestinian people, helping the cause, helping people to get aid. And all of these things are something that we can do together as a community to raise funds, to raise money, and it's not going to cost you anything. Obviously, if you're buying an Alphalete piece, that will cost you money, that is going to cost you money, but the AdSense, that does not cost you anything. And the reason why I'm choosing this video to speak about it again is because, like I said, these videos have a much wider reach, but also given I don't want to say escalations, because horrible shit has been happening. Obviously the situation in Rafah was just horrible. If you've seen the pictures, if you've seen the videos, a dire situation for people to be in. And I just I've had reels and stuff that I was meant to post this week on Instagram, and I feel very so I'm if I'm gonna do this video this week, we're gonna help somehow. So yes, and just so that you know, I'm not gonna wait until my July. I know that people need the money now. I'll be making my own personal donations out of my own money, my money from coaching, money that I've got saved up, but I will be tracking the revenue as it comes in and donating it. I'm not gonna be waiting until July until I get paid for this. Another thing to note, which is very quickly, I am actually going to be selling a crap ton of Alphalete stuff. We're talking definitely over 200 items. I'm going to try cross-list it, so it should be across platforms, but if not, I'm going to be trying Vinted first. Everything will be listed for £5 plus shipping I'm not taking a single penny from that, and all the money raised from that as well is going towards Operation Olive Branch to help Palestinian families. So that's another way. But yeah, if you have listened to this portion of the video, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being a person with a heart. Thank you for caring. And without further ado, we're just going to get into the review and the video now. First things first, which I always forget to plug in these videos, but I'm not going to forget this time because I feel like I feel icky about plugging my own code. I've always felt like, so I'm like, you can use any Alphalete code, and I just don't plug my own code. And I forget to do it in every single video, but not this one, okay? Code Amy will save you 10% on all your orders with Alphalete, whether it's on a launch day or throughout the month. It helps me to earn commission. I do earn commission through that code, and it also helps to support my relationship with Alphalete. It helps to maybe try and get me some more opportunities with them, which I would be very, very, very grateful for. And it helps me to keep a strong relationship with the brand. It's really, really, really important. Like, I cannot understate the importance of using people's codes enough, and it really, 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 really helps my relationship with them, especially being like a smaller creator, a smaller channel. It massively helps me out a lot, and the sole reason why I'm still with them after all this time is because of the code uses. So yes, please let me know if you do use my code. Message me on Instagram so that I can say thank you, and also nosy at what you've got, because I want to see if you're picking up some new Tenacity bits or not. And I also do run monthly giveaways where I will give away gift vouchers for people who have used my code during the month. I do these every single month regardless of if there is a launch or not. So if you're ever picking something up between launches but there's not been a launch that month, you can still enter, and the details for that will be left below. So please never buy things using my code just to enter the giveaway. Please buy things that you were going to buy anyway. You know, if you were going to be using my code anyway, that's what the giveaway is there for. I don't want to encourage like mindless spending just to enter these giveaways, which there's a high likelihood that you won't win, and I feel like it's really important to be honest with people about that, because I don't want anyone to be disappointed either. We'll always try to do giveaways as well, which I very frequently do, which are not code use related, so that people that can't afford to shop Alphalete but still really support me, I'm able to give back to those people as well, because it's not really just about that. There's plenty of people that love my content but they can't afford Alphalete, and I still want to make sure I'm able to give back to those people as well. Now, with that being said, let's get into this haul. You guys know the drill when it comes to reviews with me. I could really love an item, but I don't like to say that things are like an absolute must-have or like absolutely groundbreaking. You guys know when I really, really love something, I will let you know how much I love it. The contour shots, I'm gonna let you know how much I love it. The baby tees, I will let you know how much I love it. And there's a couple of items in this launch which I do really love, but I just want to encourage you guys to shop responsibly. Do not shop beyond your means. It is not normal to have this much stuff per launch. This is actually a very big amount of stuff for me to have for a launch. This is not normal. We do not need to be consuming on this level. I recently did a TikTok when I was clearing out, and it honestly knocked me sick how much stuff I own. Like, it's disgusting. Take it from someone who does this for work and sort of needs more stuff. And I dread to think, like, I was running the numbers on it and looking at how much stuff I had. I dread to think how much money people would be spending if they were trying to keep up with like consuming on the same level as an influencer. It is so abnormal. It is not normal. You don't need every single piece. You don't need every single colour. Pick the things that you really love the most. Pick the things that you think you're going to wear the most. You know, for example, if your wardrobe is full of neutrals and that's all you wear, you might like the idea of a bright pink sports bra, but are you going to wear it, or do you just like the colour? Have a think about these things. Think about how often you're going to wear them. Get that cost per wear down. Here I am going to put my measurements for reference, and here I'm going to put the PDF of everything launching. The PDF does say 30th, May the 30th, which was actually yesterday for the drop. It's not. It's June 13th. They had to push it back for a reason I will get onto when I go onto the KDM zip top, because that is the reason why the launch got pushed back. But yeah, I'm typically a size small in everything with Alphalete. So if I've gone down to an extra small, that means I've sized down. If something's a medium, that means I've sized up. But typically I go a size small in everything. So this drop is definitely for the people that are a bit more out there, especially with some of the pieces, especially with the colours. Like, the colour palette, it's giving bright. Like, we've got a bright like fluorescent green going on, we've got bright pinks, we've got bright blues. It's a very bright drop, and I feel like the last drop was a bit out there as well, so I just wanted to let the neutrals girlies know, because I'm a neutrals girly through and through. There's not going to be many neutrals over summer. It's very bright. The next drop, I believe, is even brighter than this, and the designs are a bit more out there as well. If you're a neutrals girly through and through, you will probably be saving some money over the next few months. Neutrals are coming back, and there will be more neutrals, there will be more options and all that good stuff, but it's going to be in fall, so over summer it's very bright. I'm pretty sure there's like a yellow coming, like a bright orange coming. Very, 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 very bright colourway. I do think there's some pastels towards the end of summer. Neutrals girls might enjoy that, but yeah, the July drop, I'm 99% sure, is very much out there. I think there's some prints, like I said, yellow, orange, so just to like give you guys a glimpse into the future, there is lots of brights coming. Another thing that I want to mention as well is obviously like the highlight of this launch is the Tenacity fabric. It's brand new, even though like the fabric blend is technically the same as Aura and Alphalete. It's that 75 nylon, 25% spandex / elastane blend. Spandex and elastane, I googled it, it's basically the same thing. They use the words interchangeably. Everything I saw on Google said that those are the same thing. If I'm wrong, please correct me down below, but it feels very different, and I will go over the fabric in great depth. I will probably actually go over that first, and then we'll go over the colours, and then we'll go over the individual pieces. I know that people that like really love a brand tend to sometimes want to buy a piece that they maybe don't like that much just because they want to try that fabric, and I just want to let you guys know this fabric has got a one piece coming. There's like a full length tank coming, which I'm pretty sure is meant to have a built-in bra. There are lots of other pieces coming in this fabric, so if you want to try this fabric, but for example a full length tank or a one piece sounds more up your street than the pieces in this drop, then please do wait, because Tenacity is going to be a permanent range for Alphalete. Definitely planned for the next drop. There are some bottoms coming in the next drop. They're going to be a 7-inch biker inseam, I'm pretty sure. They're not a completely plain short. I'm pretty sure they've got like underwear style lines on them, just to let you know. But yeah, that one piece is going to be a 4.5-inch inseam, so that will be a pretty short one piece, but I think it looks like it's going to be good. I've not tried it, but it looks like it's going to be good. Don't buy things that you don't really want just because you want to try the fabric, because this fabric is going to be permanent for Alphalete. You know, if it's not an absolute hell yes, then it's a hell no in my opinion. But I just wanted to give you guys a glimpse into the future, so that you're, without giving too much away obviously, so that you're not feeling like you absolutely have to buy something that you're not sure on just because you want to try the fabric. I was really excited for the Tenacity bottoms, which there isn't any in this drop because unfortunately they got pulled. They just weren't up to scratch when they came in. You know, they'd finalised on certain details, and then when they got them in, they weren't quite right and they weren't holding up well, so they decided to completely pull them from the launch, which I'm sad about, because even though they were like a dip front waist, I was excited to have something that's non-amplify for bottoms, because even from a review point of view, like it gets to a point where you're sort of like, okay, what do I actually talk about, because it's like the same thing over and over and over again. But yeah, let me know if you're feeling the same about that, because I'm just feeling like I'm ready for new. I'm ready for new. So I'm gutted that the bottoms got pulled, but yeah, if you're wanting to try Tenacity in this drop, we've only got sports bras, but there will be bottoms coming, and there will be a one piece coming, there'll be a full length tank coming. We've got options coming, but for this drop it's 3 sports bras only. Okay, we're gonna get into the review itself now. So first thing that I want to go over is fabric. We're gonna do fabric first, because I feel like that's the big chunk of this launch, if you know what I mean, if you're catching my vibe. So this fabric is the brand new Tenacity fabric. The fabric blend is 75 nylon, 25 spandex. Now I'm gonna pop here every single like fabric blend of other Alphalete ranges when it comes to cut and sew, because this is a cut and sew range, it's not seamless. So I'm gonna pop all the cut and sews that Alphalete have done here, and the fabric blends and sort of how they feel. And I'm also gonna do other brands here, so like Honor Active Unified, Honor Active Timeless, Buff Bunny Butter, Buff Bunny Newbury fabric. There is a Vitality fabric on there, Lululemon, like the Align fabric, and I will pop those there so that you can see like what the fabric blends are and how they sort of feel. Now this fabric, and I will pop in like a close-up of the fabric here so you can see it close up, so that I'm not trying to mess around with the camera and stuff, but this fabric is incredibly soft. This fabric is like, I've just recently got back from Italy and I had sunburn on my chest. It's soothing on my sunburn. Tenacity fabric, it is cold to touch. Aura, on the other hand, is warmer. Aura just feels warmer to the hand. If you've got Aura, you'll know what I mean, but it's not cold to touch. Fuzzy, it feels more brushed. This is still got a brushing to it, which you will be able to see in the close-ups. There is a brushing, and having said that, there is the chance for it to pill. However, these do not pill as easy as Aura does, because my Aura bras were pilling within days of using. I've worn some of these bras twice now and I've washed them twice and they've still not pilled yet. It won't be pill proof, but it is less pill prone than Aura because it's much more slick, it's less brushed, while still having that brushed effect to it. It's cold to touch. The bras are all double lined, so whilst they feel thick, if you grab the fabric when it's single lined, it's not actually that thick, but it feels tighter woven than Aura. So even though it's got the same fabric blend as Alphalete and it's got the same fabric blend as Aura, this still has stretch, but this just feels tighter woven. It feels denser. It feels like it just holds you in a bit more. Like, for example, in the Aura bras, I don't necessarily feel like I get like a tip job in them, whereas in all of these, other than probably the veil bra, the asymmetric one, I feel like I'm getting a... So you can expect this to feel cold to touch on your skin, very slick with a very light brushing on it, stretchy, super soft. This feels really nice on the skin. I love Aura. It's got more of a performance twist to it. In my opinion, this fabric is more suitable for the gym than Aura was. Now, it's hard to say because I don't have bottoms, so I can't test with like how that would hold up with pilling, but in future launches there will be bottoms and I can tell you about that. All I can say is with the bras so far, I've had like my gym bag over my shoulder and it's not pilled any of the bras, which I always get with seamless bras from Alphalete. So I'm honestly pretty impressed with it so far. It's not going into balls as much as like Alphaluxe Essentials leggings did. Alphaluxe Tri bras were really bad for pilling. Aura, like that does pill a lot easier and a lot quicker because it's a lot more brushed. This has got that more like slick feeling to it. So here I'm going to pop in like a sort of flat lay comparing this fabric flat lay so that you can see the texture up close to other Alphalete cut and sew fabrics, and also the fabrics that are listed on this side, so like the Buff Bunny fabrics, the Honor fabrics. So these are all the Alphalete cut and sew fabrics that I have got. So this one is Tenacity, so this is the new one, and I will pop like the fabric blends on probably this side. I'll try to keep everything to this side when I'm showing things up close. But if you like listen to it, it's smooth, it's silky. This is Aura. Aura just feels warmer and like it has a bit more texture to it. I don't know, it feels like it's fuzzier, whereas this one is definitely silkier. Both brushed, that's what they have in common, but this one is a lot less brushed and it's more silky and it feels like cold to touch. Then you've got Alphalux Wonder, which is definitely like not as stretchy, and in my opinion I don't think it's as soft either. I feel like Tenacity is a lot silkier. This one feels like it's got more of a texture to it. Then got Surface, which to be honest I just don't really find these to be similar. Tenacity is a lot silkier, this one's a lot more like flat feeling. I would also say that this one's just not as soft. And then this is Pulse, which honestly, like if I feel these two, this feels like a brushed version of Pulse. I think if you like Aura, you'll like Tenacity as well, but Tenacity feels more performance. It's less brushed than Aura, more brushed than Pulse, definitely silkier than Alphalux and Surface. I would say it's like a brushed version of Pulse. That's what it reminds me of the most. Or if you want to go with Aura, it's basically a slick version. To compare it to other brands, we've got Buff Bunny Nubra here, Lulu Align, Buff Bunny Butter, Honor Active Unified and Honor Active Timeless. Tenacity feels like Nubra and Butter had a baby, because I feel like Butter is a lot silkier than this, and like there's much more of a flat, less cold to touch feeling to the Newbury fabric than there is to Tenacity. Like Tenacity's, it's silkier, it's not quite as fuzzy. Obviously it's still got that brushed feel to it, but it's not as fuzzy as Legacy in my opinion. It shares like the slickness of the Butter fabric. Lulu Align is much like fuzzier. It's not really cold to touch. This feels more like a yoga sort of fabric in comparison to Tenacity. I think Aura is much closer to Lulu Align pants. And then in terms of Honor Active, the Timeless fabric, they're kind of similar, but this one is so much nicer. It's so much nicer, it's so much softer, it's so much silkier. And then in terms of Unified, Unified feels like a straight up swimming costume. It's definitely like a high performance feeling fabric, like there's no brush to this whatsoever. It feels like a swimming costume. So in terms of comparing that to Tenacity, Tenacity has definitely got more of a sort of brushed feel to it. Up close, just so that you can see sort of textures and stuff. This is the Newbury fabric. This is Alphalete's Tenacity on a timeless, on a unified, Buff Bunny Butter. One thing that these two share in common is they both catch lint like a motherfucker. I will say that. And then this is Lulu Align, and those are the fabrics. So yeah, I would definitely put this in more of a performance category when it comes to fabric than Aura, for example. So I will always love Aura from more of a comfort point of view, but in terms of how this feels on my skin, this feels, especially in bras, I love how this feels against my skin. Like, I really love how this feels against my skin. This feels luxurious on the skin. This feels really, really nice on the skin. But yeah, I would say think pulse with a brushing to it. Pilling you need to be careful with, because it can pill, because it does have that brush on it. It does have that brushed effect to it, which means it can like catch on things. It does also pick up lint. Like, the white ones get absolutely filthy, and even though I love a fresh white sports bra, I would be cautious of them because they do pick up lint like a motherfucker. Like, this fabric really picks up lint. In terms of like washing instructions, always wash it on as cold a wash as possible. Do not tumble dry it, and when you are washing it, please wash it with similar fabric. My samples seem to have survived being washed with like denim jeans and stuff, but I wouldn't recommend it just because it does have that brushing on it. If you want it to stay intact as much as possible, you want to be washing it with similar fabrics, and that's what I've been doing whilst I've been experimenting with them. That would be my suggestion for what you do when it comes to washing instructions. And yeah, I've washed some of these bras twice now and I've not noticed a huge difference. The only thing that I would note, but I don't think I want to point out specific colours because I don't feel like it's a colour thing, I feel like it's a item to item difference, is I do feel a slight difference in certain pieces. Some feel more slick and some feel more brushed, but I've always found this with Alphalete's Cut and Sew. Like, some of my Aura pieces feel more slick, some of them feel like they've got a bit more of a brush to them. If you've ever bought the Alphalux Tri bras, some of mine came in already looking pilled. Like Thundercloud, for example, is like really bobbly, whereas my Rapids Blue one is more slick and it doesn't have any pilling on it whatsoever. I would be aware of the fact that maybe those more brushed items, if they come in feeling a lot more brushed, they will be more pill prone, so you would want to be extra careful with them. White KDM zip top and my Neptune KDM zip top feels a lot more slick. It feels almost like a swimming costume sort of fabric, whereas the other ones are all pretty consistent for me in terms of being like a slick, lightly brushed fabric. And yeah, that is the Tenacity fabric, so it's brand new. Like I said at the start of this video, if you are intrigued by the fabric but you don't want any of these items, please don't buy them. This is going to be a permanent range for Alphalete. They've got a one piece coming in this fabric. I believe they've got a full length tank coming in this fabric, and I think it's literally July, so you don't have to wait long to try it. There will be other pieces coming. They've got biker shorts coming in this fabric, but I do believe those have like underwear looking lines on them, so those won't be for everyone. It will definitely be like an acquired taste. The point is, there are other pieces coming in the Tenacity range. It's going to be a permanent line, so if for example you are a lot smaller in the chest and these look a bit too long line for you, they look a bit too big, I would maybe wait and see if any of the upcoming pieces appeal to you more, just so that you don't have things sitting in your wardrobe that you don't absolutely love. I would say, as far as Cut and Sew goes, this is the nicest feeling Cut and Sew fabric that Alphalete have done. I really like this. I would probably say Aura and this are tied for two different reasons. This is definitely more performance, Aura is a bit more low impact comfort. But in terms of colours, we have got 6 colours, 3 of which are new. So you've got Ride, you've got Neptune, and you have got Aurora, and then 3 old colours from the last drop. You've got Nebula, you've got Gleece, and you've got Nocturnal. I will show you how these look compared to their Amplify sister. Nebula and Nocturnal, obviously the bottoms were only split logo, so these tops obviously don't have a split logo on them, so just be aware if you are wanting like a straight up matching set, the only bottoms you can get to match them, and there is like a slight colour difference, especially with Nebula, is a split logo bottom with half the logo on it, so just be aware of that. And then you've got Neptune, Ride and Aurora, which are all new colours. Not everything is coming in every single colour. So as I go through the items, I will pop on the screen so that you can see exactly what colours that item is coming in. That's quite common with Alphalete, they don't give you everything in every single colour. So you have got Gleece, which is returning. So this is Amplify Gleece, as you can see. It's the exact same as the last drop. It's still got that like slight marl in it, but from a distance it doesn't look mild at all. And then this is the Tenacity Gliss. So this is how they look next to each other, and I'll pop in a picture as well so that you can see. They're honestly pretty close, like you can't really tell a difference. I feel like the only reason you can see that much of a difference is because the Amplify is slightly darker and it obviously has a bit of a marl to it, whereas all the Tenacity tops are completely like marl free. But yeah, I will pop in some like colour comparisons and the colour wheels so that you can see how different these colours are. Gliss is like a bright, like purpley undertoned taffy pink colour. It's very, very, very bright. It's very in your face. So if you're wanting like more of a muted colour, it's probably not for you. And I also feel like Gliss is one of those colours where it doesn't ever show up exact on camera how it looks in real life, especially when you see any like iPhone gym selfies. Take the colours with a pinch of salt, because like for example, colours like Gliss look a bit darker and less bright. Colours like Galactic Ocean look like a dark blue when actually it's quite like a bright deep aqua colour. So always take those with a pinch of salt. But yeah, this is the Gliss colour. It's pretty close to its Amplify sister, and the Gliss bottoms, by the way, are the exact same as the last Gliss drop. The only difference is if you've washed them, the colour does like change slightly because a little bit of the dye does come out in the wash. So if you order these but you've heavily worn your Gliss and you've washed them and you feel like it's a different colour, when you've washed these a few times the colour will match, because I've worn these shorts, which are the new 4.5 ones, and these look the exact same colour because I've washed them and stuff as my Gliss bikers from the last drop. But when I put them next to the leggings, they look slightly different, and the leggings are unwashed, like I've not worn those properly yet. So definitely one for the Barbie girls. Okay, next up we have got Nebula. So there's no like plain Nebula bottoms in this drop, we've just got the sports bras. So Nebula is like a purpley sort of shade basically. It's like a Barney purple. The Amplify Nebula, but as you can see this one just looks a bit more saturated and a bit darker. So this is Nebula from the last drop and this is Nebula Tenacity. I will pop in some colour comparisons here and some colour wheels so that you can see what sort of colours I would pair this with. But yeah, this is Nebula. I like it on me, but I feel like I don't wear these sorts of colours enough. So it's definitely not like my top favourite in this drop. All the colours that are returning, this one's probably actually got the biggest difference between the Amplify and the Tenacity top. So keep it in mind. It really doesn't look bad. I'm more of a tonal girl anyway, so I don't mind, but just something to keep in mind, they're not like a dead match. Moving on to Nocturnal. So this is Nocturnal in the Tenacity fabric, navy sort of blue colour. It's not super bright. It's sort of more similar to sort of like tuxedo blue sort of shade. And as you can see, the Nocturnal from the last drop, again, is just a little bit darker and a little bit richer in colour. The Tenacity colours are still really bright, but they're almost like a little bit less saturated, like they look a little bit less rich, if that makes sense. But this is how these look next to each other, and I will again pop in my colour comparison picture. And for the colour wheel, I'm just going to reinsert the one that I did last time, because obviously this has already dropped and I feel like this one is honestly the closest, like it's a very close match. So I will just pop in my colour wheel from the last drop when it comes to Nocturnal. Okay, next up we've got Ride, which is a brand new colour. I have described this as Thundercloud had a darker, more like medium grey sister, because it feels like it's very like steel blue. It's very blue undertoned. It's actually a bit more blue and lighter than Skyscraper and Titanium. It's definitely a little bit lighter than those. But yeah, this is coming in the Tenacity tops, and then you do also have the Amplify. I will pop in the colour comparisons for both, but just so that you can see again, all the Amplify like sisters of the colours just seem to be a little bit darker. Again, it definitely doesn't look bad, but it's definitely not like a straight up match. And the bottoms as well, so the Amplify bottoms, they're very solid. I feel like, if I've said this before, but if you look at any Amplify up close, I feel like there's a mile to it. But it's a very solid sort of bluey undertoned steel grey shade is how I would describe it. It's not that unique. Like, yes, it is different to Skyscraper, Titanium and all those sort of colours, but honestly, if you've got any of those greys, I don't think you need this. I wouldn't say it's a need. I do like this grey. I think it's a really nice shade of grey, but if you've already got those sort of colours, I don't think you need this. Next up we have got Neptune, which is this gorgeous aqua colour, and let me just like say now, it is so hard to get this colour to show up accurate on camera. I would say how it's showing up right now is pretty accurate, but add like a little bit more brightness to it. This is a bright aqua sort of colour, basically. It's like a medium aqua shade. It's basically Galactic Ocean if it had a lighter little sister. This is the Amplify, so in terms of Marl, there really isn't one, to be honest. This is a very, very, very solid colour. I did see a lot of comparisons of this to Rapids Blue. Now, the iPhone camera struggles with blues, especially when they're bright. So you will see on colour comparisons it looks very similar in some of them, but it's not. Like Rapids Blue is blue. This is aqua. Like this isn't straight up aqua colour. And I actually do prefer this to Rapids Blue. I think this is a much nicer colour. I love me some Rapids Blue, but I just feel like the aqua undertones in this one suits me a lot more. So I actually prefer this to Rapids Blue. I think it's a really nice colour. This is it in the Tenacity fabric. So again, you can just see that the bottoms are not the exact same. They're a bit deeper. Neptune bra is actually a lot brighter than its Amplify sister, but again, I would still wear it as a matching set and it definitely doesn't look bad by any means. And I would honestly probably say I think this might be my favourite colour in this drop. I just really love this colour. I think it's very wearable as a bright for me. I'm not a super like really intensely bright girl, so this is like the perfect like happy medium for me, where it's bright and it's a bit of colour and it looks really beautiful with a tan, but it's not super in your face. So this is actually probably my favourite colour. But then the final colour that you've got is Aurora. I cannot for the life of me, let me see if I can like darken this and it'll pick up accurate. Even then, this is not showing up how bright this is. Like, this is a bright ass fucking green. It looks almost like creamy pastel on camera. It is not a creamy pastel green in real life. Like this is like it's slightly creamy, but it's very much a highlighter green shade. So if you are a brights girl, you will love this. This is definitely the brightest colour in this drop. It doesn't have any matching bottoms, so in my lookbook I've paired it with some different greens and different colours. I actually really like this with pink. I've always been a fan of a green with pink. Giving Watermelon Sugar, sign me up, Harry, and take me away. I would say the colour comparison is pretty accurate, and this is completely different to any of Alphalete's other greens. It's way brighter and way more saturated than Citrus Frost. This makes Citrus Frost look cream in comparison. Like this is a bright ass green. If you love a bright green, you're gonna love this colour. Personally, it's a little bit too bright for me. It's definitely the most unique colour in this drop, like very different to anything that Alphalete has done before. So if you're in the market for something unique, go for it. But yeah, there's no matching bottoms for this. Okay, so now that we've gone over all the colours, I'm going to pop my lookbook in here. Reason I do this sort of ties back to the point I made at the start of this video, which is I never want anyone to watch these videos and think, oh my god, I need the entire matching set. It's basically to give you an idea of how you can pair these items. I did decide to go with the bras for pairing, just because the bras come in every colour, whereas there wasn't a bottom for every single colour, for example with Aurora. So I've paired them with bottoms, but obviously you can work this the other way around. If you wanted to get like Neptune leggings, for example, you can just get tops in similar colours to the bottoms that I've showed. Okay, so this is Gleece with Gleece. This is how it looks as a matching set. Gleece with Cotton Candy for a bit of a tonal vibe. I love this. Gleece with Digital Violet is so pretty. I love these colours together. I think they look really nice. And then I had to put it with Citrus Frost. She's see-through, but pink and green. So, and then I also really like it with Victory Blue. And then moving on to Aurora, Cotton Candy. You know how I feel about green and pink, or Watermelon Sugar. Emerald Green, I actually love this. I mean, I'm not sure I could pull it off, but you guys can. And then Citrus Frost, again. It's see-through, but if you're fine with that. Neptune with Neptune, just to show you guys how it looks. Neptune with Cotton Candy. This reminds me of a sweet and I don't know which one it is. Neptune with Galactic Ocean, which I really like. Neptune with Pixel Pink. Again, it's giving sweets, I can't remember which. And then with Aura Arctic Sky, I think this was. Nebula with Nebula, just to show you guys the difference. Obviously the bottoms are darker. Nebula with Arctic Sky, the Aura colour. Again, I actually really like this. And then put it with Electric Purple Amplify, which again, I really like. And then I did it with Reggio from the last drop. And then just to show you guys how Nocturnal looks with Nocturnal from the last drop, it is a dead match,
just to show you how Ride looks with Ride, because it doesn't need a lookbook, it's grey. And then I just wanted to show you how well this drop mix and matches with other colours within the drop. Like, they all actually complement each other pretty well. So these are just some mix and match ideas from within the drop, in case like you've only got the money for a bottom and a top, but you don't want a full matching set. They all look pretty cute together. So yeah.
Okay ladies, let's get into the product. So we're going to go over the KDM zip top first. This is the top, this is the little sneaky bugger. This is the reason why the launch is pushed back. It is, let me find it on the goddamn hanger. We found it. As you can tell, this was the sample I probably enjoyed the most, I'll be honest. This was probably the sample that I was most excited about when I've been wearing it, and I have worn this in YouTube videos. I wore it in my Alphalete Black Friday sit down haul, I believe. I wore it in my Alphalete Black Friday top picks video. I wore it in my birthday sale top picks video, and I've worn it in a few vlogs here and there, and I have had a few comments being like, Amy, where's that top from? Well, now I can tell you, it was an Alphalete top, but it was a sample. It is slightly different, but slight differences, which I don't want to go over too much, because that is literally not the bra that is for sale for you guys to buy. So it doesn't seem very sort of productive to me to do that. This is the KDM zip top. I've got it in white, Ride, black and Neptune. Now this has been pushed back because I think we've got over 6 athletes now, which there isn't that many anymore. They were having it rip just below where the zip is. I'll show you exactly where I mean. It's not looking great. Basically everyone's been getting a hole sort of here below where the zip ends, so they've decided to push the launch back because they're going to try and fix it. Now when I spoke to them about it and I asked, I think they're actually trying to like get like a brand new shipment of these in. I won't be able to test that before it launches. So there's 2 scenarios which could happen. They will launch it, they'll be able to get it in, and it'll be fixed and it'll be launched. The other scenario could be if it's still happening and they can't get the shipment in time, these could be delayed. Like, I'm just preempting things that could happen. These tops could be delayed, these tops could be scrapped. That could happen if these aren't ready for June 13th. So I wouldn't get your like absolute heart set on these tops, just because I feel like it's still up in the air, but I need to film this video and get it out. Again, this is just how I am with my reviews. I personally, I'm not super comfortable with telling you this is 100% fixed and it's not going to happen without having tested it. So please take what I'm saying about they've pulled the top back because they're going to fix it with a pinch of salt, because I'm not going to be able to test that before it relaunches. Maybe I will, maybe they'll push it back, I don't know, but please like keep an update, keep an eye on my Instagram. I'll update a pinned comment if there's any further updates on this top, but this is why it's been pushed back. I do have to say, credit where credit is due, and props to Alphalete. This is the difference that you get when you have a proper team in with experience. Like, this is the difference that you get, because I'm going to be completely honest, there is no doubt in my mind, if this had have been happening a year ago, the top would have launched anyway, and they would have just like probably hoped that it didn't happen to customers, because there has been products in the past that have been dropped by Alphalete that have just not been up to standard. It's a huge step in the right direction. It's a massive shame, because I really hope they can get it fixed. But yeah, that's just something that I wanted to let you guys know. So these should be available on June 13th, but if for any reason they're not, that's why, and they should be fixed for June 13th as well. But it's a very tight turnaround. These were meant to launch yesterday, so we will go over the details very quickly. So all the bras in this drop, including the KDM zip top, are all the Tenacity fabric. So it's the super soft, slick, slightly brushed, really nice fabric, feels really nice on the skin, and it's got a lot of stretch to it. Like, as you can see, these have got a lot of stretch. It's not a stiff fabric by any means. It's got a lot of stretch to it. The only thing that doesn't always have a lot of stretch is the seams, but that's not really relevant for this bra. We've got a zip down the front, which is about between 7.5 to 8 inches, depending on the top. Mine did have discrepancies. So it zips all the way down to sort of here. I love how like subtle this zipper is. Like, this zipper is so subtle. It's not obvious, it's not bulky. Like, from a distance, I feel like you can't even tell this has got a zip on it. All tonal as well, so it's all the exact same colour. It just looks so clean, and it's a very subtle zip. It's a super skinny zip. You've then got like a cap sleeve sort of design. So as you can see, the t-shirt I've got on right now, this is like a normal short sleeve. It's from Skims, if anyone was curious. This is a cap sleeve, so you've actually got more of your armpit exposed, which is great for ventilation. I'm a sweaty girl, but my armpits sweat like a lot, and sometimes especially with like grey tops. I don't find sweating embarrassing in general, but especially because these for me are more of a lifestyle piece, which I'll get onto. I'm not sure I'm 100% comfortable with the amount of sweat on like the armpit that I would get if this was like full. Now you are still going to see some sweat on the armpit if you sweat a lot from the armpit, which I do, but it's definitely not as severe as it would be if it was like fully covering your armpit. So I do like that. The front, you've got these seams here, and then you also have a built-in bra. So the built-in bra on every single piece is the exact same colour, so it doesn't look like garish or anything like that. The built-in bra is all Tenacity fabric on your skin. So on your back, you're going to feel Tenacity fabric. On your tits, you're going to feel Tenacity fabric. But the mesh lining, superior. So you don't feel that on your skin. It's what lies underneath the bit that goes over the front of the top, if that makes sense. So you've got this, and then you peel it back, and there's mesh on top, but it's actually Tenacity fabric on your skin. And the mesh is just like a really thin, like single lined, it pulls apart from the rest. And it does also have like a sewn like dart detail on the built-in bra, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that actually does anything other than, if I'm gonna be completely honest, it adds a little bit of like bulk, which I feel like you can see through, especially on some colours. I feel like on some pieces it's a lot more noticeable, but I feel like you can see the dart and like the bit of the mesh that's in a sort of dart shape through the top. I'm not sure if that's intentional, but to me it looks a little bit clunky. Because you've got that built-in bra, it technically is double lined over the chest, but you have about like 1.75 to 2 inches of fabric at the bottom where it's completely single lined, where the built-in bra ends, because the built-in bra doesn't come right to the bottom of the bra, if that makes sense. You've got the tonal wolf head logo, which is like a dark blue on this one. All of them have got this wolf head logo, but they're all a little bit different depending on the piece. So I will actually pop in like a clip here and show you guys what colour the wolves are on each piece. But yeah, on Neptune it's like a darker sort of blue colour. It almost looks like nocturnal, to be honest, and it's super plain at the back. There's no like grave detailings on the back. And like I said, I picked this up in 4 colours because I really loved the sample so much. There are a couple differences, one of the main ones being, if I'm going to be completely honest, the built-in bra on the sample that I've got actually fits me a lot better. This one, I feel like this was made and adjusted more with maybe slightly smaller chests in mind, just because the built-in bra sort of sits, I mean you'll see in the try on clip, but it sort of sits right on the bottom of my boob. It doesn't like completely cover it, so it's sort of like sitting almost underneath my boob, if that makes sense, when I'm stood like sort of still or when I'm like bending over. Whereas with the sample one that I've got, it actually comes a bit lower, not lower to the point where it's poking out the bottom of the bra, there was still a gap, properly like fully covers my boob. So especially if you've got naturally huge boobs or you've got massive implants, I do think the built-in bra could cause an issue for some people because it's not got loads of space in it, if that makes sense. I mean, you could scoop your tits up, that's what I've been doing and it does help, but just to be aware, like the sample one I had, it did work a little bit better for my chest because it was just longer and it was a bit more comfortable in that way. Bottom band on the built-in bra is also like pretty, she's thin, like it's not like a super supportive like high impact built-in bra that like bulletproofs your tits to your chest. With that being said, what would I say the support on this bra is? It depends how you zip it. If you've got it fully unzipped, low support. Like I would not wear this bra fully unzipped. For me personally, I couldn't do it because my tits would come out. Like when I'm bending over, like it does like gape and stuff if it's fully unzipped. I would only do that for like a cute picture, or like if I'm walking around. I wouldn't do that for working out. If you wear it fully zipped up to the top, I would honestly say you can get like medium support from this bra. It's pretty decent. And if you wear it sort of where I would wear it, which is sort of like quarter to half zipped, I would say you get low to medium. You can sort of tailor how much support you're going to get depending on how zipped up you wear it. But yeah, it's quite nice how the built-in bra is done because obviously it doesn't completely come across your chest. So when you unzip it, there isn't like a built-in bra that you can see. But when you do unzip it, you can sometimes see the fabric sort of here, which I will show you on like a try on clip so that you can see what I mean. It's not like completely hidden, if that makes sense. You can see where it's sort of double lined over the chest. So that's something to be aware of. But I do find the higher you zip it up, the less you see that. And I would say it's the most flattering on the chest for me, worn like a quarter to a half way zipped up. In terms of like comfort level, this bra is seriously comfortable, like very, 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 very comfortable. I have no issues in terms of comfort on this bra. If you do go with a size down, which I'll get onto when I go oversizing, the cap sleeve can be a little bit snug and a little bit restrictive when you raise your arms over your head, so that's something to be aware of. But in terms of like the general comfort of this bra, it's definitely not as tight as the other bras in this drop. It's a very comfortable, feels really nice on the skin, not restrictive. The only area is that cap sleeve sort of area, but I find it only really bad if you take a size down. So those are my notes on comfort. In terms of sweat proof, this is not sweat proof. I will pop in, it's not this specific bra, but it's the same fabric, so I will pop in a picture of how much I sweated in the Celeste bra so that you can see how sweat proof this sort of fabric is. I did an intense leg day for reference, so I had like a little bit of under boob sweat, but I've seen on like Jess, she had like a really sweaty armpit and you can see it, so it's not sweat proof. But I did find this fabric to be very sweat wicking, as in it dried quite fast. Even though it's not sweat proof, it is sweat wicking. I would say this is more sweat wicking than Aura, and again just leans into why I feel like this is more of a performance fabric than Aura was. So I got an extra small and a small, so I will pop in the measurements for an extra small and I will pop in the measurements for a size small for this item so that you can see sort of how long it is. You can maybe compare it to other bras that you've got that are similar, but you can also see how much sizing difference you get when you size up. This is definitely the least snug fitting bra in this drop. There's a seam around the bottom, but when I go onto the other bras, you'll see what I mean. It doesn't have as snug of a band around the bottom basically. Tight fit, but like it's free flowing at the bottom. Like in the small, I've got a little bit of excess fabric at the bottom. In terms of sizing for this, I feel like I'm really pushing it with the extra small because I've sized down. Like the zip is a little bit temperamental, shall I say, when it comes to getting it over the first bit of my boobs in an extra small. And I do feel like I'm really pushing the limits in an extra small. But again, that's because I sized down. In the size small, I like how it fits, but I don't necessarily feel that I get the same sort of like push-up tits effect in a size small. I can try, but I feel like the push-up effect doesn't stay. Like I would have to rearrange my boobs quite frequently to have like the intense cleavage that an extra small gives me. I also do find around the bottom, I have quite a narrow rib cage. I'm not super like wide under bust, I'm actually quite a bit smaller. Like I have a bigger over bust and a narrow under bust, so this is quite a unique situation, so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. But I do find it's not baggy, but it's definitely not like body fit under my boobs. But I think that's because I'm a bit narrower under there. I'm like 29 inches under bust, 34.5 over bust as of this morning. But yeah, those are the sort of sizing differences that I noticed. I also noticed in an extra small, I do find that I really feel the cap sleeve with movement. Now for me, that's not a huge problem because for me, this is more of a lifestyle piece, which I'll go on to when I've done sizing. Not a huge problem because I probably won't be doing this when I'm walking around, but it's not the most comfortable thing in the world, and I do store a bit more fat on my arms and my shoulders, so I do feel it a bit more. It doesn't dig in, but with movement I notice it a bit more. But both bras, regardless of size, when you go like this with your arms, the sleeves do like sort of bunch up like this to your shoulder and you have to rearrange them regardless of size. So that's going to happen whether you size down, stay true to size. Elements of an extra small that I like, and there's also elements of a size small. But if I'm going to give you guys sizing advice, I would say if you are like very small in the chest and also quite small in the shoulders as well, I would say to go a size down. Especially if you're between sizes and you're smaller, 100% go over size down. If you are between sizes and you've got a bigger bust, again I would probably still say to go with a size down if you're between sizes. If you are not between sizes and you are always one size and you have a bigger bust, stay true to size. Personally, I wouldn't recommend that you take a size down, just because, especially with how temperamental the zip might be, I just don't think that that's going to end well. If you are always one size and you've got a bigger bust, I wouldn't size down because I just don't think it's going to be that comfortable. I think you might have issues with the zip. If you are always one size but you are very, very, very small in the chest, very small in the shoulder, I would personally say if you want that push-up effect, you can size down. Now, if you're not bothered about it being completely body fit and you would actually quite like to have a little bit of extra fabric on it, you can stay true to size regardless, and it won't be like oh my god, it's falling off me, like it's absolutely huge. It really depends on how you're looking for this to fit, so hopefully that's been helpful, and I will put some notes and stuff on the end. I should probably sacrifice the push-up effect and stick with a size small, because I think in the extra small I'm just going to put too much tension on that zipper. Now, something that people did ask me about was a zipper in terms of like, does it move down? In the extra small, yes, but I think that's because I'm putting the zipper to its limits, so it doesn't stay in place. But in the size small, I did 30 minutes on the stairs on this, and then I went and did some abs afterwards, and I was sort of like having my hands up like this, and I didn't notice that the zipper moved at all. It honestly, like, once it's in place, it stays in place pretty well. Just another thing to note as well, which it's not noticeable on any other colour that I have other than the white, is that obviously through the body on this, it is double lined because you've got that built-in bra on the inside, so you've literally got two pieces of fabric here like this. Body of this is a lot denser, but also remember that built-in shelf bra doesn't go on to the bottom of the bra, it ends about here. So just be aware that in the white you can see a colour difference between where the bottom of the shelf bra ends and where the actual full top ends. There's like 2 inches where it looks a bit sheer because that's single lined, but through the body, the back and the front is double lined, and the sleeves are single lined. So I feel like even holding it here, I think you can see a slight difference. So just be aware. Pilling, like I said, you might get pilling with this fabric. Some of them feel more slick, some of them feel more soft. Another thing to note about this fabric is that in the bras, in the KDM zip top in Neptune, I do actually already have a run on the chest. Now, I don't know if the camera is going to be able to pick it up, but I don't know how I've done it. Maybe I've caught it on my ring or something, but I've got like a run in the fabric. So runs are something that this fabric might experience. There is a run in my top.
I've had a few DMs asking if you can wear a bra under this. You can. I'm going to be honest, I feel like it looks a bit bulky and it makes the fabric on the inside turn out a little bit more. Because it's a bra and then a built-in bra over it, but it can be done and there is that option, but I feel like it does look a bit chunky.
And just another thing to be aware of, which I do find you can't tell unless you're looking up close, but I am a details girly and I do like to make sure that you guys can't feel these things in person, so I feel like it's important to give you every single detail so that you know exactly what you're buying, because you can't feel these things in real life. So that's why I give these details if anyone was curious. Just something to be aware of is that I do find the stitching on the KDM zip tops in general just to be a little bit janky. Like, can you see, I feel like this side looks smooth and then this side looks a little wonky and like it goes really skinny here with the stitching. But if you are someone who gets bothered by like minute details like that, just something to be aware of. And I do also have some like loose threads on the sleeve. It's got these like sort of dark detailings down the sleeve as like a sort of shoulder contour, and I do find that I do have some loose threads in that area which seem to be coming loose. Again, like I said, these are definitely not the final product because they're trying to fix them. We shall see, but I just wanted to point those things out because I would hate for you guys to pick this up and then you have this issue and you're like, no one told me. I like to make sure I cover everything for that reason. Now, the final thing to go over for me is just a little note, which is for me, these are more of a lifestyle piece, and that's just because in the gym, I do prefer, at the moment, I'm either preferring t-shirt, like a baby tee or the crop tees that are in this drop, or I'm preferring like a smaller sports bra. I'm not necessarily loving like something that's much longer line, but this is like perfect for errands. Like that's what I've been wearing my sample for. I love it for errands. For me, this is definitely a performance piece in terms of the fabric and how you can wear it, but for me personally, this is more of a lifestyle piece. It's just not really my gym style. So if you don't see me wearing these in the gym, that's why. I do prefer these as more of like an errand piece. And something to note as well is these are coming in a long sleeve. So if you like the idea of this, but you're thinking, I'm not a huge fan on the cap sleeves, especially if you've got really petite arms, it will probably gape quite a bit if you've got really like slim arms. Personally, don't really get a huge issue with it, but if you've got particularly small arms, you might. Even to keep in mind that it will be coming in the fall in a long sleeve. So it's not the last of this top. You're gonna see it in a long sleeve version. So if you like the idea, but cap sleeve isn't for you, I would wait for that. When there's long sleeves drop, I probably won't reach for these as much, being completely honest. So yeah, that is basically my overall thoughts. I'll pop like my footnotes here about like sizing and stuff, but just to round up, sizing massively depends on your preference. So do you want it really tight body fit, or do you want it just more of like a body fit but it's not like skin tight? It'll also depend on your chest size massively, so please refer to the notes that I'm going to put here when it comes to sizing to make sure that you get the right sizing. But if you've got a big chest and you are always one size, please do not size down. Like, I don't think that's a good idea, and I think you will probably end up having issues with the zip. Second biggest PSA would be if you are absolutely tiny in the chest and the arms, you're probably going to want to take a size down, but only in that instance really would you want to be sizing down if you are always one size. In terms of would I recommend this top, I feel like I'm in a bit of an impossible position. What if it's like not fixed? Do you know what I mean? Because if it's not fixed, absolutely not. Like, even though mine haven't ripped, it's not worth the risk. Like, I got these for free. I didn't pay for these. I'm not going to tell people to go and buy like a 40 to 50 pound sports bra that could rip. So I would keep an eye out on like the athletes' Instagrams, my Instagram. I'll update a pinned comment if I get any more news on these. But for now, if this is fixed and you like this style, there's nothing wrong with this piece as long as they've fixed the things that are wrong with it. I would wait for the long sleeves, but that's just a personal preference thing because I prefer a long sleeve, especially with this being more of an errand top for me. I'm going to use the shit out of the long sleeves when they drop, and I probably won't reach for these as much. Okay, moving on to the veil bra. So I've got this in 3 colours. I didn't pick up as many of this just because I mean, I'll get onto it, but there's just something about a one shoulder top. Like, please tell me if anyone feels the same. I don't know if it's because I've got bigger boobs, or because I've got quite prominent trap, or because I'm quite broad up top, but there's something about a one shoulder top that I just feel like makes me look even more broad, and I find it really unflattering. Like, I just don't really like how it looks on me. So spoiler alert, this is my least favourite bra in this drop for that reason. Like I said, some of the pieces do feel different, but not that different to the point where it's like, holy shit, this is a different fabric. Some of them just feel a bit more slick, some of them feel a bit more brushed. It's not even a colour thing, because some of my like my white veil bra, for example, feels more brushed, whereas my white KDM zip up feels a bit more slick. Just be aware there can be like discrepancies with that. But yeah, this is the first one shoulder bra they've done in a while. If you recall, they have done 2 before, which, don't worry, I've got the try-on clips, I've got the bras down here, we're going to compare them. But details wise, let's just get into it. I'll use the Aurora bra because it's very pretty colour. It comes over your left, so my left shoulder, like so. It's a one shoulder bra. It's got like a sort of very scooped neckline across the chest. It's got like, I think these darts are about 5 inches long, so the darts are pretty long. They literally come up to like my nipple, so they're very long darts on the bottom of the bra. It looks like more of a feature of the bra on this one, whereas I feel like with the Aura pieces, I really felt like on the strappy bra in particular, it was really keeping it in place, where with this it looks more like a feature. I don't know it doing much for me. There's no silicone band on the inside of the top of this bra, it's just a seam, and there is a seam all across the top. Again, a continuation of these wolf logos. So on the green, as you can see, it's white, it's not tonal, it's a raised rubber logo. I don't find I get too many issues with the proper raised rubber logos coming off. It's the shit sticker ones that I get issues with. So I've washed some of these twice now and none of them are like peeling off. And personally, like, let me know how you guys feel about branding, but I'm kind of over having like Alphalete on the back or front of everything, and I will be very happy if we see this little wolf on more pieces. It just feels a lot more understated and a lot less in your face, and I much prefer this branding. Like, this is personally, this little wolf, this is my favourite branding that they've done on like the actual activewear pieces. I think it looks so much nicer. None of these bras have padding, so they all come with a padding insert, so you can insert your own padding, but they do not come with padding. There is no padding in these bras. I think Alphalete are trying to move to a system where you can choose to have pads or not. But let me know what you guys think about that. Personally, I think it's a good idea as long as it doesn't impact the price for people that want padding. So for example, if a sports bra currently is £42 with padding, I wouldn't want to see that bra at £44 if you want the padding, because it was £42 with padding anyway. But from a waist point of view, you know, do we need 60 pairs of pads for our bras? Probably not. Could we maybe get some really good quality ones? Could Alphalete make, because Alphaletes are rubbish, not gonna lie, could they make some really good quality ones so like people want to like reuse those in all their bras? That would be game changing in my opinion. I'm gonna insert a clip here just showing you sort of what the inside of this bra looks like, because I feel like it's helpful to see the inside of this bra and the Celeste bra in particular, because they sort of have like bands of support built into the bra, so I feel like it's helpful for you guys to see that. So I'm gonna pop in a clip of that here. It's the inside of the veil bra, so this is how it looks from the inside. You've got this stitch in here, which I'm assuming means that the padding that you put in can't move up, and it's also in sort of like a heart neckline to sort of shape the bust a little bit better. Obviously got your inserts here for padding, this band which runs under bust, which this is where you're going to roll it on, and again, just like so you can see, the stitching's quite like, I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit funky on like some of these pieces. That should this be straight? I feel like it should be straight and it's not. It's sort of like wavy, wider, skinnier, but this runs under bust just to help to add a little bit more support under bust so that your boobs aren't like falling out of the bottom of the bra. Not that they would be anyway, because it's quite a longer line bra. And then again, you've got this thick seam that runs around the bottom. You can't like see it from either side, but it's in here. This is where the seam is, and it's pretty thick. But yeah, this is what the veil bra looks like from the inside. But yeah, this bra is not sweat proof. It will show sweat because it's the same fabric as the other pieces. Between this and the Celeste bra, this definitely isn't quite as snug. It's very comfortable. I don't find that this like digs in. Even though the strap looks quite a bit shorter on this, I feel like because it's a longer line bra, it sort of compensates for that. It doesn't dig in, it's not uncomfortable, and I don't really have any issues in terms of comfort on this bra. In terms of practicality for me, this bra does not stay up, but one shoulder bras have never stayed up on me. I always have to pull it back up at this side. I don't know if maybe it's because I've got boobs, so like when my pec tenses, maybe it like pushes it down or something. But for me personally, this side just pulls down. I'll pop in a clip and show you guys, but it just pulls down. It's not very practical, and I would honestly say, like, I trained legs in this. I would probably feel more comfortable doing legs in this bra than upper body, because I've trained upper body in the sample version, and like I was doing assisted pull-ups and I just felt like my tits about to pop out at any second. So for me personally, I don't find this to be a practical bra. I think it's much more practical for smaller chests, because I don't think you're going to get it falling down quite as much. But on me, it just hits my boob at an awkward point and then it slides down quite a lot. It's not my favourite bra for that reason. And also, like I mentioned at the start, I just feel like this bra makes me look really broad, and that's not unique to this bra. I feel that way about every single one shoulder bra, but because it's quite a chunky strap, I feel like it almost makes me look even more broad. Like I feel like I need something a bit delicate up top almost to balance me out. I don't want to say bulky, but it's definitely bigger than, for example, the most recent Alphalete one shoulder bra. But yeah, it's just not the most flattering on me. I'm not a huge fan of it. In terms of support for this bra, I would honestly say it's like low to medium. I don't think you get like high support out of this bra. I've sprinted in the sample version that I had, and again, I just have to keep pulling it up. It doesn't feel like my tits are going to hit me in the face, but like having to faff with a bra that much is not ideal. I would say this is like low to medium support. I just feel like in these veil bras, I have more like excess fabric. I don't know what it is because they measure very similarly, but I just feel like I have more excess fabric in the veil bra, so it doesn't feel as like to my chest, if that makes sense. I would be fearful that a tit is going to be out and we're going to be giving the gym a free show, and I'm all for the people, but not to that extent. Like, woman of the people, but we draw the line there, do you know what I mean? So like I mentioned, Alphalete have done two one shoulder bras before. So first of all, I'm going to compare it to the most recent one, which most of you will probably remember better. So this dropped with the Wonder range, and this was the shorter one shoulder bra. So I'll pop in some measurements here so that you can see measurements wise how different this is. But obviously, like, it comes over the opposite shoulder, which I actually do find a bit more flattering. I think because I always take my pictures from this side, like it'll be this shoulder, I find it more flattering having my décolletage on show on this side, so I actually prefer it when the strap's on this side. Obviously this one's got a cutout at the top, the other one doesn't. This one did come with padding, the other one doesn't. This one doesn't have any like darts or anything on it, and it was just like a shorter line bra. So if you roll the new Veil bra, it comes to a very similar length of this. So if you're gonna roll it, you'll get a very similar effect, but obviously you don't have that cutout. It's a much more sort of plain bra. Then you've also got, and again, I'll put measurements on the screen. In terms of like the length of the bra, it's much more similar to the original one. The original one actually worked a lot better for me because it had more coverage over my boobs. So between the Veil bra, which is the new one, and this one, much more similar in terms of length compared to the one I've just showed you. But again, this one came over the opposite side, which I do prefer. It had that cutout detail, and obviously this one's got the Alphalete branding. So the Veil bra wins for branding because I much prefer that little wolf head. I just think it's so cute. I do prefer when they came over this shoulder. I know that's a really fussy thing to point out, but I don't know. I think because this is my good side, I just want this out. I don't know, but I've never been a huge fan of a one shoulder bra because I do feel like, generally speaking, they make me feel really top heavy and quite broad, and I don't really want to like draw attention. I mean, it's ironic because my tits are fake, so I literally paid for them. But another thing that could be playing a role, which someone in my Discord said, and it was a really good point, thank you, Sue. I think because this one's so plain and it's longer and I've got a bigger bust and the strap's quite like thick and bigger, I feel like it almost looks, the proportions aren't off, but it looks like they are, if that makes sense. If I'm being honest, this does look better rolled up on me, and because of where this band is, which I'll have shown you, where it is on the inside, basically if you're going to roll this bra, you want to roll it directly on the band. It will hide the wolf logo at the back, but then it's this short instead. It looks slightly less broad on me, but something that I do have to know, even though you technically can roll it, this like band around like the bottom of the bust, so where your boobs actually sit, is quite supportive and structured and thick anyway. And then there's also a very like thick seam on the inside of the bottom of this bra, which runs all the way along, which, even though like this fabric itself is very stretchy, this seam here doesn't necessarily have the most give to it. So I do feel like it's a lot of bulk when it's rolled under. Some people won't mind it, but I think because my implants literally sit right above it, it feels a bit like, oh, I can really feel this under my boobs. It doesn't look bulky, but it feels bulky on the skin. So just be aware of the fact that it will feel like you've got quite a lot of fabric because the fabric's double lined. You've got that thick seam under the bust anyway, which is good for adding a bit more support. And then you've also double backed the seam that runs along the bottom of the bra as well. So just something to be aware of if you were looking to roll it. It can feel a little bulky and a little chunky. But yeah, the fabric is different to the two previous bras. It comes over a different shoulder. These ones have got the little wolf logo, which I do prefer. They're a lot more plain. These ones don't have a cutout. They are very similar in terms of the long length to the first asymmetrical bra that Alphalete did. So in terms of sizing for this, I picked up a small and a medium because I've had the sample in a small and it did feel a little snug. So I wanted to try a medium out. I would definitely say for this bra, you are going to want to stay true to size, and if you are between sizes, I would size down. If you're always one size with Alphalete, I wouldn't recommend that you size down in this bra because the bottom seams don't have much give. Even though it might feel like there's excess fabric here, I feel like there is more excess fabric on this one than the Celeste bra, probably because it's just so like one piece of fabric and it doesn't have as much detail on it. That's probably why, but the seams are not that forgiving. Like, they're not that forgiving. They don't have much give to them. So if you are always one size, you wouldn't want to completely size down in this bra, in my opinion. Always one size, stay true to size, but if you are between sizes, go with the size down just to avoid that sort of excessive fabric look. Keep in mind when you see how long this is on me, if you are smaller in the chest, it will be even longer because my chest is hiking the fabric up. It definitely feels like a more well-constructed bra. It's just not my cup of tea personally. In terms of sizing for me, I prefer a size small, so I would stay true to size in this. The medium fits, but I just feel like I've got too much excess fabric under bust. Or maybe sizing up would mean it'd pinch less here and it might move down less. hasn't made a difference. So personally, I would stay true to size in this bra with a size small. If you're between sizes, I would recommend you size down. I do just maybe wish that the darts were a little bit shorter, because I feel like it looks a bit funky how long they are. But other than that, it's a really nice bra. I love the branding. I love how the fabric feels. It's just not my cup of tea. Okay, moving on to the Celeste bra. I've got this in pretty much every single colour other than black. Oh, but I can't show you every single colour because I can't fit them all on the hanger. So for demo purposes, I will show you the Gleece one. The main thing to note about this one is this bra is coming in an AB version and a CD version. I'm going to cover that first because I did actually pick up an AB version and a CD version, and I will pop in a clip here showing you the AB version on me, which I know is a bit dumb because I'm not an AB, but I got it to measure it up to see how different it is, because I assumed it would be like maybe much shorter line, less wide in the bust, like different measurements is what I was expecting. Flat lay, there is no difference between these two bras, and I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't notice a huge difference on body in terms of how it feels, and that's coming from someone with big boobs. So maybe you would notice it more if you had smaller boobs, but measurement wise there is no difference. Again, I could have just got a dud one where there really isn't a difference, but there was no difference. Like, there was no difference between the AB version and the CD version. Flat lay, measurement wise, it is the exact same, like it measures up the exact same. The only difference is, and maybe this is normal for multiple cup option bra, the CD version just looks like it has more excess fabric across the bust, which I guess makes sense, which is what Taylor said to me. It's because then your bust can like stretch it out a bit more, but honestly the AB version didn't feel like ridiculously tight. It felt maybe a little bit more snug, but I didn't notice a huge difference between the two on me. I did feel like maybe the straps were digging in a bit more, but I feel like I didn't really notice a difference at all. Again, I could have got a dud one, so don't hold me to it, but the only difference that I can personally spot is the fact that the CD version has more fabric across the cups here. I've not seen it on anyone above a double D, so I will keep you posted. But yeah, I did get a lot of questions on will this bra actually work for larger chests. Honestly, I can't give you an honest answer on that because I've not seen it on a naturally really big chest. Although Sophia does have really big yids. She's blessed in the yid department. Big up Sophia. She's really naturally blessed, and I'm pretty sure she said this is one of her favourite bras they've ever done, and it looks like it fits her, so maybe go and ask her about that. This is a Celeste bra. In terms of details, it's got a deep V cut in the middle. The straps are a little bit thicker than what you might be used to in terms of recent Alphalete drops. They've all been spaghetti strap. These are not. You've got much thicker straps going on up here. You do get a little bit like skinnier at the back. Like they're a little bit skinnier at the back, but it's not a huge difference. It comes into a deep V. You've got darts which measure about, I'll pop the measurements on the screen in a second, but they measure about 2 inches, I believe. It doesn't come with padding, but it does have inserts for you to put your padding in. You've then got quite a thick seam under bust, which sort of sculpts it and curves under your bust, and then a band around the bottom, which does have a seam in the bottom, which is quite thick. Again, it's like the veil bra I just showed you where it's quite thick and it doesn't have much give to it. Honestly, the seam on this feels thicker than my veil bra seam. The fabric itself has stretch, but this bottom band doesn't have a ton. It's not like a racer back or anything. It very much goes straight over your shoulders, so it's not halter neck or anything like that. Into basically like a tank back, I guess, but it's got a little bit of a cutout. And then again, you've got that raised rubber silicone logo on the back. But yeah, I'll pop in a clip here just showing you the inside construction of the bra. It's very similar to the veil, but just so that you can see sort of how the support is built into the bra. Show you the inside of the Celeste bra so that you can sort of see the construction a little bit better. So you've got this seam is really thick at the bottom here. Like really, she's thick, she's sturdy, and like I've shown you, she doesn't have a ton of stretch. Then you've got this band here, which again, it's thicker, like you can feel it. Not completely stiff, but again, it doesn't have as much stretch to it, which I feel like just helps to add a bit more support. You've then got this seam which runs directly under bust. You do need to note there isn't a ton of space for your tits in here, even in the CD version, so I do find that I do have to really pull this into place, but once it's in place, it does stay in place under bust. But it's a very thick seam. So if you are like sensitive to things like this, just be aware. This is a really chunky seam under bust, like it's really thick. So you've got the inserts where you can add your own padding, the dart detailing here. So yeah, in terms of sweatproof, no, like I've already gone over, it's the same fabric again, it's not sweatproof. I'll pop in a picture here of me actually wearing the Celeste bra in Ride, and you can see it does show under bust sweat, dries quickly, but it's not sweatproof. In terms of comfort for this is the tightest bra in this drop. Like, even though it measures fairly similar to the Veil bra, this is tight. Like, it fits tight, it feels tight. I think it's because of this bit here. It doesn't have a lot of give in this bottom bit. Like, the top bit is pretty stretchy, to be honest, but this bottom bit that like wraps around the bottom of your bust, it doesn't have much stretch to it at all. Like, it's not very forgiving. So this definitely fits the tightest out of all the bras in this drop. However, I'll pop in some clips here. I did actually wear my Ride one for 12 hours the other day. The straps were fairly comfortable. When I initially tried this on, I felt like the straps were too tight. I think I was just bloated and stuff because I'd literally just got off a flight, because since then I've had no issues with that. I think they do stretch out a bit with wear as well. I think you just need to wear them a bit more, and the seams seam, if you pardon the pun, they seem to like become less stiff over time, if that makes sense, and not quite as like stiff. So these all feel fine on the traps for me. I don't really get digging in, and I have very prominent traps. Only area which I found dug in quite a lot after 12 hours, which I probably wouldn't keep it on for 12 hours, was this bottom band. This is definitely where it hits you the snuggest, and this seam that sort of goes under the bust, the one that curves under, I've already showed you, but it's a thick seam, and I did find it quite itchy. But again, I'd sweated in it, so that could be playing a role. But yeah, I would say, I mean, I don't think, is anyone going to wear this for 12 hours? Probably not. But for me, this is more of a lifestyle piece. Again, I don't like this, I don't want to say chunky of a bra, it's not huge, but I'm not a huge fan of this being straight across at the back. I like something to cross. It's more flattering on me from the back, I find. So for me, I've been using this as more of a lifestyle piece rather than to train in. I'd train in it with like a baby tee over it, but it's not something I would think, oh, that makes me look really good from the back. I don't think it's that flattering on like my back muscles or anything. So for me, it's more of a lifestyle piece. So it is important to me that I can wear it for longer than 2 hours, because I want to be able to go and run errands in this. I would say I get like a medium to high support. If you've got natural boobs, I don't think it's probably going to be similar to the Lulu Align tank for you, but I can sprint in this and it's very, very, very comfortable to sprint in. But I do have implants. I would say it's a medium to high support bra. But yeah, I can wear this for a good chunk of time. Just be aware, this around the bottom is where you get that tightness. That is where it is like the tightest in my opinion. This bra, in terms of flatteringness from the front, Jesus fucking Christ, Alphalete popped everything, popped every joint in their orifice with this one. Like, this makes your tits look fantastic, especially if you really scoop them up and go, this is like a push-up in a bra. It's really, really flattering on the chest. Like, I've had a boob job, it makes me look like I've had another one. It makes my boobs look it gives so much cleavage. That being said, if you're not a cleavage girl, it might not be like your favorite thing in the world. It is quite like a booby bra. Obviously, it's not as much as the deep V bra. That's a very booby bra. It gives like a good amount of coverage, but it gives a good cleavage as well. It is a longer line bra, but I feel like it doesn't sit as long on body on me as the Veil bra, for example. Personally, it just doesn't. I don't find it hits me as long. It is definitely longer line than like the Aura strappy bra or the Sculpt bra, for example, which this bra is basically the Aura Sculpt bra updated version, you know, the one that's got like the darts in it and the straps and stuff. It's very similar to that, just basically with the bottom bit added on, pretty much. It reminds me of how that one fits. So if you have that bra in a particular size, I would probably stay with the same size for this one. If you liked this bra and you found it flattering, but you want something that's a bit safer for the gym and just a bit more coverage and it's going to cover the bottom of your boobs, you will really love the Celeste bra. In terms of in comparison to the Aura long line strappy bra, obviously this one has spaghetti straps, very thin straps. This is a low support bra. This is not a supportive bra at all. This one is much more supportive. I also feel like the fabric of this just fits tighter, so you get a lot more sort of with this bra. However, I wear the same size in both, so if you have a size in this and you like how it fits, you can definitely get the same size in this one. But in terms of like line and stuff, they're very similar in sort of where they hit on body. I would just say this one sits maybe a little bit higher because it doesn't have as long straps. The straps on this one are definitely a lot longer, but the support on this one's better, and I find this one actually a lot more flattering from the front. I'm just saying, now that we've got the Celeste, I do prefer it. Then I want to compare this to the Lulu Align Tank, because every time I've worn my sample on stories, people have been like, what size do you wear in the Lulu Align Tank? And I've been like, oh, well, this is awkward because it's not the Lulu Align Tank. So clearly it looked like it, but there are quite a lot of differences. So the Lulu Align Tank has a built-in bra, which this one doesn't. Obviously it's got that support with the seam, but it doesn't have a built-in bra. This one has a shelf bra built in. This one is more of like a heart neckline, like it has like a bit of a curve here, whereas this one's more of like a straight up V. The straps on this are thinner, they're not quite as thick as the ones on the Tenacity bra, and it's much more long line. So this one reaches like my belly button and it can meet the top of my leggings. This one will not. This is not as long line as the Lulu Align Tank. Obviously the fabrics are different as well. For reference, I wear a size 4 in the Align Tank and I wear a size small in these. Yeah, the Lulu Align Tank is longer. It's got a built-in shelf bra. So if you're wanting something to meet your leggings, this would be a better option. I do prefer the fabric of this one, and I do feel like this one makes my boobs look even better, but I do like how long this is. And I do also like that this is very plain at the back. Obviously it doesn't have a cutout or anything like that, but just be aware, like especially like I mentioned with the veil bra, if you're someone that's a bit more broad up top, thicker straps can like accentuate that. So if you're not gonna like that, especially the fact that there is no halter on it, it's not a halter bra, it literally goes straight across, just be aware. But I find this a lot more flattering on my broadness than the veil bra is. So I would recommend this over that if you're a broader up top girly, especially if you've got bigger boobs. I picked this up in a medium and a small because I thought I might need a medium. The medium fits, okay? It's not hanging off me, which is a testament to how like snug this bra is, because usually a medium will be very obviously not fitting me quite right. I do get a bit more excess fabric and it's a lot more of a comfort fit. However, I don't get the same chest effect when I go up to a medium. I don't get that same push-up effect. So for me personally, I prefer a size small. Medium is more comfortable and it's less in your face in terms of like the tits. But girl, I love to have the titties out, so I prefer a size small personally. But in terms of sizing, I wouldn't size down in this bra. Absolutely not. No one should be sizing down in this bra. It definitely fits true to size. If you have a bigger chest, however, especially if you've got naturally very big boobs, and you don't want it to be too much and you want more of like a comfortable fit, you might want to try a size up. Personally, I would say for most people, you're going to want to stay true to size in this bra. And if you are between sizes, I would probably take your size up rather than your size down. I just prefer the small over the medium. I will wear both and I can wear both, but I prefer the effect that the size small gives me. So keep that in mind as well, because if you really like a comfort fit and you don't want your tits to be like really pushed up and you've got bigger boobs, then you might want to take a size up. If you've got a small chest, you don't need to size up in this bra at all. Stay true to size. Something with the Celeste bra is personally, I do have issues with the darts on 2 of my bras, and basically the darts aren't sewn in the same spot. So the darts aren't connected through the bras anyway on any of the pieces. Like it's a dart on the inside and a dart on the outside. Now most of mine line up, but on the white one in particular, it doesn't line up. Like it doesn't line up, so that when this bra is on, and I'll pop in a clip so that you guys can see, it looks like I've got 2 triangles on my left tit, and that's in the white one, and I think it's on the nocturnal one as well. I am the only person apparently that's had this issue, but I do just want to note it because it does look weird when it's on. It's like the dart on the inside is like here, but the dart on the outside is here, and when it's on my breast, on my bosom, you can really see it and it looks weird. It's like I've got 2 triangles here. As far as I'm aware, I'm the only person that's had this issue, but it is on 2 of my bras. On the white, it's very noticeable. Not all the darts are like lining up perfectly. I did also note as well, some of my darts are like a little bit longer and some are shorter. Like sometimes there's like 0.25 to half an inch difference in terms of the length of the dart. You can only tell if you're really staring at my tits, but it was bothering me, so I did take off, I think it was the Gleece bra. I took off the Gleece bra because it was bothering me to measure it and check, and one of them was like half an inch shorter than the other. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know because I don't want you to buy it and then if you have the same issue be like, what the fuck, no one told me. It does seem that that can happen, so just something to be aware of. Slight issues with the darts, not sure why. I know that these have been made with performance in mind, and it's so nice after like a drought of anything more than a nipple cover for people with bigger boobs. I know that these bras won't be for everyone. They are like longer line, they've got thicker straps, but let's just think in the context of every single bra that's been dropped in the past year, none really have been suitable for anyone with bigger boobs. Like the odd bra might have worked for the odd person, but none of them have been made with anyone with tits in mind. Like, let's be so fucking for real. So I know that like people who are smaller in the chest or maybe don't or want something really tiny, this might not be the bra for you, but there are a lot of other bras on Alphalete's website, and I'm sure if people love the Tenacity fabric, they will bring in some itty bitty bras. But I am happy to see that we now do have some slightly more suitable options for slightly bigger busts. Obviously remember, if you are smaller in the chest, go for the AB version. Bigger in the chest, go for the CD version. I'm a double D and I can personally get away with it. I will be wearing the fuck out of these. Probably more lifestyle. Like I said, I just prefer something with more of a dainty back for when I'm in the gym because I feel like it's more flattering on my muscles and stuff. Definitely my favourite bra in this drop, and it's a fantastic lifestyle piece for me. Conscious that I don't want this video to be like ridiculously long, so for that Amplify bottoms, I'm going to go over them very, very, very quickly because I don't have too much to say from the last drop. So just the TLDR is we've got Amplify leggings coming in Ride, Gleece and Neptune, and you've got Amplify shorts coming in Ride, Gleece and Neptune. However, the shorts are going to be 3 to 4.5 inches. They don't know what the inseam is going to be. They're having the same issues that they had from the last launch. All my size smalls are a 4-inch inseam, and I can wear these in the gym. I can train in them. I can get away with the 4-inch inseam. They're very short, don't get me wrong, but for example with the last drop my Aquari were 3.5 inches and the bottom of my arse cheeks was out. They were way too short and I could not wear those to training. Like doing an RDL, my ass was genuinely out. So for me personally, they were a hard pass. I couldn't get away with those. But this time, all my shorts came in a size small, measuring a 4-inch inseam, and I can get away with them. But being completely honest, I don't think when you're paying that much for something, what, like 50 something pounds, you should be gambling on an inseam. I understand it's like not their fault and there's been like a huge factory issue with it. Unless you are someone that can be comfortable with a very short inseam and you don't mind a very short inseam, I wouldn't get the shorts until this is fixed. So in terms of the sizing for these, I got a size small in every single item, in every single colour, and every single item for me measured the same. I'll pop the measurements here so that you can see them, but I got everything in a size small and it all fits true to size. Reason that I'm not getting a medium in shorts anymore is because they've altered the sizing to make it more true to size. So me going up to a medium was me going up a size, and now a medium is too big on me, as it should be, because I shouldn't be wearing a medium for my measurements. I wear a size small in everything. I wear a size small in shorts, I wear a size small in the leggings. The scrunch is the exact same as the last drop, so it's that new updated scrunch. Widened the gusset a little bit to sort of open it up, sort of help the scrunch sit in your glutes a little bit better, but it is still that new updated scrunch. However, I have found on some of my pieces my scrunch was attached to the gusset completely. That's how you know they're back at the original manufacturer, because I've not seen that happen since like the second drop of Amplify. I remember in like the Facebook groups everyone was like, is the scrunch meant to be attached? And some of them were, some of them weren't. In terms of how those pieces feel on as well, it does feel very invasive when it's attached to the gusset, so it seems like they have a few issues that they need to iron out when it comes to the Amplify. I just wanted to give some feedback I've had from you guys as well on the updated scrunch, and that is a lot of people actually don't like it. For me, I think it looks a lot better on me. I think it looks a lot better on my glutes. It's not halfway up my back anymore. It's properly sitting between my cheeks because they've extended the bit above, like the little bit of ribbing above the scrunch before you come down into the bum scrunch, extended and a little bit longer, this bit here, and then like I said, they've opened up the gusset to help pull the scrunch into the the crack a bit more, so you don't have to pull it up. That's something that I do want to note. You shouldn't be like yanking this up into your crack anymore, because it's just going to sit there. If you yank it up, you will feel it a bit more because it is more invasive, so try not to yank it up as much. I personally prefer it because it's not halfway up my back. However, some people bought it and on them it's sitting really funky, it looks really wrinkly, and some people have also said that on the first few try-ons they didn't like the scrunch because it felt really invasive, like they could really feel it, but with more wear and with training in them it loosened up a bit and it felt a lot better without extending up their lower back. But yeah, I think with these reviews, especially when there's been a change, it's important for me to give the feedback most people have given, and the feedback most people have given is a lot of people haven't liked the scrunch. Another feedback that people have given is like the vertical stretch and how high they are sitting, especially if you've got a shorter torso. A lot of people aren't happy with that, so hopefully Alphalete can compensate for that and come out with a shorter rise option, because measurement wise these actually are the updated fit. To show you guys the rise on the new sort of Amplify, when it's actually like measurement wise, like I said, it's 8.75 inches. But just to show you it compared to Pixel Pink, which was obviously before they'd lowered the rise, measurement wise it is not as high as the old pairs. It is more to do with the stretch here. I just thought this would be helpful to show you guys in case you thought like it was genuinely like just as tall. It's not. I think it's more to do with the stretch on the fabric. Prove as well, I do have all the gussets lined up here. This is the cotton candy, so this is the updated fit that definitely had a much shorter rise. There isn't really that much difference. I've tried to measure it and it looks like about half an inch, just under half an inch higher on the Gliese pair, but as you can see there is still a much bigger difference between this and the old fit than this and the new fit. I really do feel like it's more to do with the stretch. It's sitting higher on people because you can just pull it up a lot more, but measurement wise it is actually more similar to the updated fit, but hopefully with the stretch and stuff they can compensate for that and get something that's more suitable for shorter torso people, because I do think it's important to know that not everybody is the same, so no one item can fit everyone absolutely perfectly, and that's why I believe personally, and I've said this since they started messing around with the fit last June, they should have options. They should have an option for an ultra high rise for people with longer torsos and like a normal mid to high rise for people with shorter torsos. They should have both options so that they can cater for all, rather than what they usually do is they've got something that works for really tall people and then they tweak it for short people and call it fixed, and I'm like, fixed for this group of people, yes? You've just neglected a big chunk of your customer base. So that I'll show you here that there isn't, like, you can wear them a little bit lower without having to roll them. I'll show you side by side with Cotton Candy, which is that updated fit, and the Gliese 4.5. But yeah, I just wanted to go over that. I've had really positive feedback on the fabric so far. To be honest, I haven't really had any complaints on it. A lot of people are actually saying they prefer it to how their stuff from 2020 feels, because this is thicker. Like, this is 100% thicker than the OG stuff. I don't know what they've done, I don't know how they've done it, but it is denser and I really notice it on these pieces. It is the same as the last drop, so in terms of going back to that original yarn, they have gone back to the original yarn. That was really confusing, I think, for a lot of people, because some people were saying straight up this is not the OG. I think that was really confusing a lot of people on the last drop, and I think Alphalete could have gone about it a lot better, because I sort of felt like I was just on my own with it trying to explain it. But it is the original Italian yarn again, which was used on those first two drops. However, they do play around with washes and stuff, and they put a really soft wash on some of the pieces. I didn't think it was on all the pieces. My Regio felt different, my Nebula felt different, my Titan felt different, but also the same thing that I said in the last drop, that wash comes off over time. Now, a pilling update, my Regio bikers haven't pilled, my Titan leggings haven't pilled, I've not worn my Nebula because they're too big for me, so I don't wear them. I like how these new pieces feel. I didn't like Aquarian, I wasn't a huge fan of Gliese, but in this drop I'm actually really happy with how things feel other than Gliese again. So in terms of how these pieces are feeling, the wash comes out in the wash. I can't stress this enough. My leggings, which I've not washed yet, feel so different to my shorts, which I've washed twice. They feel much stiffer when they've been washed, and unless you're planning on buying a pair of Amplify, and never washing it, never using it. You want to go with how it's going to feel when it's been washed, and they do stiffen up after they've been washed. So you've got the assurance that it's the original Italian yarn again, so it is higher quality and it's less delicate. But those washes that they put on do come off over time. The washes are basically an oil silicone wash, and it does impact the integrity of the fabric, like we were told that. And I did say, can we have them with less of a wash on? But I understand that some people have like skin issues and maybe they don't want something that's a bit rougher on their skin, they want something softer. I didn't get a say in that. I did say less of a wash, less soft, a little bit more like texture to it, a little bit more gritty. I did say that, but obviously they have to go with what most people want, not what I want. But I did say that, just to clarify. But yeah, it does impact the integrity of the fabric. It breaks down the yarn, which can make it more susceptible to pilling. It can make it more sheer. But these are all honestly very squat proof. So in terms of squat proofness, I would wear all of these shorts and leggings on a leg day. I have no issues. Like, the proof is in the pudding. These are thicker than my stuff from 2020 and early 2021. Like, I'll pop in some things so that you guys can see. So yeah, in terms of how these feel, Gleece feels the exact same as the last drop. So it's very soft, very like silky feeling, thicker than recent drops, 100%. Sort of slick feeling, yeah, feels very silky. Prone to pilling, yes, I would say so, before it's been washed a few times. When it's been washed a few times, it doesn't feel as prone to pilling. Neptune is very sort of similar to how Titan and Regio felt for me. It's still soft and it's thicker, but it's not as silky as Gleece in my opinion. It feels like it's got a bit more of a texture to it, but these feel very thick, especially in the leggings. These feel really, really thick. The only exception in this drop for me is my Ride, and it's not my shorts either. The leggings on my Ride pair are very stiff. Like, these feel like a heavily worn pair of OG Amplify, but thicker. They feel like they've got texture to them. They're not silky. Like, can you hear that? Like, these are not silky. They're not rough, but they've got more of like a, like, it feels like if I chewed on it, it would squeak. And I do find that as a result, I can't stretch these up as much. They don't have as much stretch in the leg. And so these sit on me more like the updated fit. Just something to know. But yeah, Gleece is definitely still just as stretchy as last time. Really stretchy, really silky. And then I would say Neptune and Ride feel a little bit more sturdy, a little bit less stretchy, closer to that sort of like Nebula, Regio, Titan feel. Anything, Ride feels even stiffer for me in the leggings than Nebula did. So yeah, that is basically my TLDR on the fabric. I'll pop in a punch through test here just so that I can check for you guys that it is still the thicker fabric. Yeah, the fabric is the exact same as the last drop. Like, it feels thicker. Gleece, like I've obviously gone over, feels softer, but as soon as you wash it, it's not as soft. Like, my shorts that I've washed twice feel totally different to my leggings now. But in terms of like out of the bag, my Neptune are a bit stiffer and my Ride leggings are super stiff. But in terms of comparisons to the last drop, Neptune and Ride are definitely most similar to Regio, Titan, Nebula. This is the Neptune colour. It is definitely thicker than it was before, and they do a lot better on the squat test than even my OG stuff. Like, this is Gleece, which definitely doesn't feel as thick. Definitely does feel thinner. And then finally you've got Ride, which I feel like actually is performing a lot thinner, even thinner than Gleece on the punch through test. But on body it does feel thicker than Gleece in my opinion. They are the exact same as they've always been. The 3-tier waistband, Alphalete stitching at the back, the new branding which is sort of skinnier and taller, the new scrunch which sort of sits between the glutes a bit better, but again, please note what I said about the feedback people have given me on that. Going back to the original yarn, but some of them do definitely have a softer wash on. Gleece is very soft and very stretchy, and that updated side panel as well, so you don't notice it too much on the shorts, but on the leggings it's longer, so it hits you at about like the bottom of your knee sort of height. I do find that it tapers off a lot better. It's not like so square and blunt at the bottom. It tapers off a little bit more. It's a lot more sleek and it curves around your glutes a lot nicer at the top. Yeah, it is longer but more streamlined and it curves a little better. My Gleece, I can make these as long or short as I want, but I would say that my Neptune and Ride, because they don't have as much stretch, are that true 25-inch inseam. Especially Ride, I really can't stretch it that much. And in terms of rise, they measure 8.75 inches for the front rise, just in case you were curious. All of them do, shorts, leggings, all the exact same. They all measure the exact same sort of height, so it's not as high as like the birthday sale 2023, for example. With the stretch in them, they can sit a little higher, but I personally find with Ride in particular, and Neptune a little bit as well, they don't have as much vertical stretch as Gliss, so they don't sit as high on me. Yeah, they are definitely sitting higher on most people. In terms of pilling, obviously Amplify can always pill. I would say Gliss is definitely the most pill prone because it is softer, but my other pairs, I've worn these to the gym, I've worn my Ride shorts to do legs, I've worn my Neptune shorts to do legs, and I did not find any pilling whatsoever. I sat on the floor, I sat on the turf, and they haven't pilled. They are much sturdier than that old shitty, I don't even know what yarn that was. It's much better than that, so much better than that. I much prefer it personally. But yeah, just on the shorts, I think with the inseam, obviously it's a manufacturing error, but I genuinely feel like it's because of the changes made to the gusset and the scrunch. I feel like it's just hiking the whole of the back of the short up. Like, the shorts have always hiked at the back. Like when they make changes to the scrunch, it just makes it so difficult for it to lie flat, which therefore hikes it and makes the inseam a little bit janky. Yeah, mine are all 4 inches and I can get away with that. In terms of rolling in the gym, these definitely do roll. Like, they roll, I'll show you how much they roll. They roll as much as the 4.5 though. Honestly, once these are rolled, they remind me very much of the 4.5 updated fit. So I do personally wear those and I can get away with these, but if I was to get anything less than 4 inches inseam, I couldn't wear them. So personally, I wouldn't take like a financial gamble. Personally, sweatproof, no, but they do dry a lot quicker. Like, they dry a lot quicker than they used to. Camel toe, I don't really get a camel toe in these, to be honest. I get Barbie crotch, but I don't really get a camel toe. I just don't get excess fabric in these. They honestly all fit me really well in a size small, which is my true to size. So for sizing, I would recommend that you stay true to size in the Amplify bottoms. If you are between sizes, size up if you want more of a comfort fit and you don't like as much compression. Size down if you want more of that sort of snatched fit if you are between sizes. But everyone else, if you're always one size, I would say to stay true to size. I'm like a little bit over Amplify now. I love the Neptune colour and I would probably pick those up in the leggings or the shorts depending on your preference. Obviously everyone's going to be different with that. I do really like the Neptune colour, but in general I'm definitely ready to move on from Amplify bottoms and have something new. I think we've all probably got enough in our wardrobe now. But yeah, I love the Neptune colour. I think it's a really pretty colour. It's a lot brighter than it's showing up on camera here. I really like this colour. This is probably my favourite Amplify colour, to be honest, in a while. So yeah, that's all the Amplify. If you've got any questions or you need any sizing help, then do let me know. But yeah, if you got like a query, for example, in the last drop, it's nothing like that. Like, none of them feel as like soft and stretchy and like big as that. I would say this drop of Amplify is very true to size for me. I don't want to spend too much on it because I feel like I did such depth last time with Amplify. If you want to know anything about the fabric or the changes, really nitty gritty, I'll link my video that I did for the last drop down below, but if I go over all that again, this video is going to be like 4 hours long, so I want to save you from that. But yeah, that's the Amplify notes that I have. Okay, I'm going to move on to the Taft range now. Now this is a 100% polyester, I believe. Yeah, 100% polyester range. So you have got the Taft jacket, which is basically a cargo material. Like, it's this fabric, this like silky whooshy fabric. It goes like this. That's what this fabric is. If you've got the retro jacket, that was a bit more matte and a bit more crinkly. This is like shiny, silky smooth, but not as shiny as like a full-on, like, I hate to say it, but like Jimmy Savile shell suit. Like, it's not giving that. It's a bit more matte, but it's very silky, very soft, and it's the exact same on the inside as it is on the outside, and it's all double lined. I'm struggling to like pull them apart. It's double lined, but there's also, it feels like there's something else in there. It feels like there's a lining of something else in there, like there's something in between these double linings, and I don't know what it is. I don't want to cut it open. But yeah, it's basically a shrug windbreaker jacket. It's got this zip at the front here. You've got a little Alphalete wolf head logo here. It looks like just standard here, but in some lighting it looks sort of like rainbow. They're all different colours. Again, the green one's white, the black one's rainbow, and the blue one is like a different shade of blue. Then you've got a hood, which is, yeah, I mean, I'm assuming this is waterproof because it's giving waterproof vibes. I've not worn it in the rain, but I'm going to assume it's probably waterproof. And then you've got this elasticated band that sort of goes over the top of your boobs and all around the back of the jacket. It's longer at the back and shorter at the front, just so that you're aware. I will pop in some like measurements and stuff probably here so that you guys know what the measurements are for this piece. But yeah, it's shorter at the front, longer at the back, and then you've got these big puffy sleeves with an elasticated band at the bottom. Obviously there's no pockets on this, and it sits basically above your tits, so you need to wear a top under this, otherwise your tits will be out. I mean, it could be a very avant-garde look, but I'm not sure it's the look I'd be going for. So I got this in the blue. I also got it in the green shade as well. I'm going to be completely honest, I didn't pick these. This was actually like a package that was just made for me. I probably wouldn't have picked these up. It's not very me. It's not very my style. It's not very my cup of tea. It's just a bit of an awkward piece for me because I would probably want pockets on this because I don't think I'm gonna layer it, and if I was to layer it, I feel like you can't because of the way it's not like a full jacket. You can't really layer it. This would be the jacket and then there's no pockets. So for that reason, and for the fact it's just not my cup of tea, it's not my personal style, I personally wouldn't pick up one of these. In terms of sizing, you can definitely stay true to size, or size up if you want it bigger, size down if you want it smaller, but a size small fits me well. I would be intrigued to see if sizing up helps with sleeve length, because when I'm just stood with my arms by my side, these are fine, but as soon as I move my arms, the sleeve pulls up to like here. They're way too short for me on the sleeves. Like, the sleeves are just too short. It's just not something that I'm gonna get much use out of. I think it's a cool idea. It's nice that they're trying different things, but for me, this is just a bit of a swing and a miss. It's not my cup of tea. It's not really my style. I don't really like whooshy fabric. It just like, it does something to me. I think it's like a sensory thing. I don't really like it. It feels nice. It's very soft. It's very silky. It's cold to touch. They feel nice, and to be honest, they're very lightweight, but to say like how thin they feel, they've got like a decent amount of weight to them, but these are definitely like a transitional piece. In the height of summer, you probably wouldn't want something waterproof on. Probably more of a transitional piece, so a good time for them to be dropping. Maybe people would wear them for festivals. I don't really know. For me personally, these are a pass. It's not really my cup of tea. I've never been a windbreaker girly. Honestly, even if these were like a full jacket, it still wouldn't be for me because I'm not a windbreaker girly. It's just not my style. Sizing wise, I would say to stay true to size. You can size it up if you want it more oversized, down if you want it less. If you've got mega long arms, I would honestly probably skip because these sleeves are not long. They'll be fine if you stood like this, but we don't walk around like this. We move our arms, and it gives me the ick how much it pulls up my arm. For me personally, these are a pass. And as a result, I will actually be giving these away. So if anyone wants these jackets, please let me know in the comments below, and I will pick people. I'll send one to each. I also have a spare Neptune size small short that I want to give away. I have a spare size small Nebula bra that I want to give away. So those are 4 items that I'm giving away. Comment down below and let me know if you want any of them, and I will pick people to send these to because I'm just not going to use them. Then moving on to the Taft cargo trousers. So these are basically a cargo pant, and I've got these in the blue and I've got them in the black. As I've just shown you the blue with the jacket, I will show you the black when I hold these pants up, and I'll just run you over the details. So 100% polyester again, like double lined, but there's definitely a lining in the middle somewhere. Like I can feel that there's something else going on in there. But yeah, it's that same whooshy sort of matte fabric, but it's not crinkly, it's silky, it's completely smooth. So details wise, you've got a very big waist. These are a low rise trouser, and they're definitely not, you cannot pull these up to be high rise. Like, you'll give your fanny an absolute wedgie if you do that. You've got these at the front. I'm not sure if you'd call these a drawstring, but they're basically these where you go like this, you press the button in and you pull it. I mean, it is a form of drawstring. I'm not sure if is it a toggle? Is that what they call it? These are like falling off my hips when I wear them untightened, so I would need to tighten them, but that's why the tighteners are there, so you can completely adjust if you want it tighter. Yeah, the crotch area isn't super long, as you can see, it's actually quite short. You've then got 2 pockets on the side which don't have a zip on or anything like that. You've then got a popper pocket on either side of the leg. The left leg has the Alphalete Wolfhead logo, and on the black it's this really cool like rainbow looking one, and those have got metal poppers. So if I show you, not Velcro, which I like because I feel like Velcro really cheapens an item. So you've got these metal poppers, you've just got an elasticated bottom like you do with the sleeves on the tops, and they're very poofy throughout the leg. So you've got 4 pockets, 2 that you can like fully seal with the poppers, 2 that are just normal hand pockets on the hip. Low rise, these are a 28-inch inseam, so they are fairly short. They're very big throughout the leg, very big throughout the waist. They are low rise, you cannot wear these. I can barely get them to fit me mid-rise, like I really can't pull them up, but I do have a longer torso. But these are meant to be worn low rise. There's no details on the back or anything, no pockets on the back. They're very baggy throughout the leg. Sizing wise for these, I would say to stay true to size or size up if you want them really, 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 really baggy around like the bum region, because I do find these look a little weird on me because I feel like they're not tight around my bum, but they're very baggy in the leg and not quite as baggy around the glutes. So I feel like I would prefer it if they were equally baggy throughout. So I'd be intrigued to try a medium, but a size small fits and it doesn't look weird, it doesn't look off. But I think also sizing up to a medium might mean I could get away with pulling them up a bit higher. These are a 28-inch inseam, so if for me personally these are too short, when I'm stood still, again, they're okay, but as soon as I walk, as soon as I sit down, they're pulling up to my calf. They're really short on me when I sit down in these. So for me personally, combined with the fact that they're low rise, which isn't my bag, I don't like windbreaker fabric, it's not my cup of tea. These aren't really my sort of style, and the fact they're a 28-inch inseam, so they look ridiculous when I like walk and sit down because they're just too short on me. For me personally, these are a pass, but if you're shorter, you might get on with them a little bit better. They feel nice on the skin, I'm not gonna lie, it feels really nice and silky and soft. It's like cold to touch, it's quite cooling, and I think if this is your style, they look cool and they feel honestly like a decent, they're lightweight but they don't feel like paper thin, like they feel nice, the quality on them feels nice. But for me personally, it's just not my style. I'm not gonna wear them. I don't like low rise, I don't like windbreaker pants. I would prefer like a cotton cargo, but quality concerns none, it's just a personal preference thing. And if you are tall, I would personally pass as well. If you're shorter, you'll get on okay with these, but for me personally, not my vibe. Okay, moving on to probably the most controversial sets in this drop, and that is the mesh trousers and the mesh shrugs. So I'm gonna go over the trousers first. Now the PDF is honestly a bit confusing in my opinion, because what I was told is that these should be marketed as like a cover-up for like the beach or for a festival, but they weren't put that way on the PDF. It said to match it with your favourite Alphalete pants and top, and they were shot with gym shorts underneath, which if that's what you want to wear, I don't want to judge, that's completely fine. But for me, I feel like these would sell better if they were sold as more of like a beach cover-up, because these are completely see-through, like these are completely see-through. So these are the exact same, they measure the exact same as the Aura flare pan. I'll pop the measurements in here so that you guys can see, but these measure the exact same as the Aura flare pan. Like everything about them, other than the fact that these are mesh, is the same. They've got the same double layered waistband, it's single throughout the leg. The inseam on these is 33 inches. They've got the curved seam around the side of the leg, which sort of really accentuates the glutes. That long crack seam at the back, but just don't pull it up your ass and it looks fine. The only difference really is they've changed the tags on these. So on the mesh pieces, you've got the tearaway tag here, which you can just, I'm gonna rip mine out, ready? So once you've teared that out, you've then just got this tiny little Alphalete tag, which is a smart move because these are completely see-through, so you wouldn't want a massive tag. If anything, I almost wish that this was on like the bottom of the leg or something, because I feel like when it's on body, you can see that there's a tag there. It looks a little weird. I wish it was sort of maybe at the bottom or just not on there at all. In terms of the flare, it's not like a fuck off flare. It's the exact same as the Aura flare. So it's sort of like a very subtle flare. It's not super obvious. It's not like the Buff Bunny Foxy flares where it's really bell cut. It's more of a subtle flare. I think it looks really nice, to be honest. And these are like completely see-through. Like these, like there is no, like these, it's just one layer of mesh through the leg. It's completely see-through, and these are 92 nylon, 8% spandex. They're very stretchy. In terms of sizing for these, I would say stay true to size or go over size down. I got these in the blue nocturnal shade, and I got them in black as well. Prefer them in black, to be honest. Again, if anyone wants the blue ones, let me know and I will be giving those away. Just let me know if you want them. I'm going to keep the black ones, but yeah, they fit really similar to the Aura flares. So if you've got a size in those and it fits you well, go with the same size in these. True to size as with Aura, or you can size down. If you're between sizes, you'd probably want to size down, but they're super stretchy, so it really doesn't matter either way. I personally would only wear these as a beach cover up, and even then, this is not something that I would wear walking around on holiday, like walking around the shops. Like, I've got crochet skirts and stuff that I personally, in Europe in particular, I feel comfortable walking around in those things with like a nice bikini top that looks a little bit like a top. But when it comes to mesh, and I love a mesh cover up, I keep it for like beach clubs only, because it looks a little, when you're walking around in it, it's very, especially with these being black, it can be very stark. I wouldn't personally feel comfortable walking around in these, but if I was going to like Ocean Beach for the day, or Cafe Del Mar in Malta, somewhere like that, this is perfect. Only thing that I'm not a huge fan of on these is the fact that, and I know that this would have been impossible to not do, but it's the way that the waistband is double layered and the leg isn't, that I feel like it makes the leg look almost worse. Obviously the leg is completely see-through. I feel like the double layeredness of the waistband, the contrast with the leg, just looks a little bit off to me. I'm not a huge fan of how that looks. Personally for me, I like these, but I have other cover-ups that I would probably reach for more. Just going to be completely honest. So even though I like the idea of them, I'm not a huge fan of how this is double layered and the rest isn't. And I just feel like I have nicer cover-ups. Like when I'm going for mesh, I like something with a print, or something that's loose and not tight fitting, because otherwise it can feel a little bit much for me personally. Girl, you pop off. If this is not too much for you, pop off. I'm not judging, trust me. All my holiday wear is either see-through, semi-see-through, or no wider than ½ an inch. Like, I am a woman of the streets when it comes to holidays. I just feel like, yeah, when it comes to mesh, I prefer something with a print, or something that's not quite as tight fitting, and the double layering of the waist just makes it look a bit, I don't know, I'm not sure how I feel about them, but they feel nice on and they're really stretchy. And if this is your vibe, provided that these aren't a ridiculous price, there's nothing wrong with them quality wise. Like, it's literally a mesh pant. Like, I feel like you can't go wrong. Although having said that, at the same time, it's literally a mesh pant. You can probably find it cheaper. 33-inch inseam, so if you are shorter, these might be a bit long on you. For me, these are the perfect length, and I feel like because of the fabric, Aura is obviously a bit thicker, well, a lot thicker, it's not mesh, and I feel like it hikes more with the Aura fabric than it does with the mesh. So even though it's a 33-inch inseam and I might normally prefer maybe a 34, I actually get a bit more length out of these because they're so lightweight and they don't hike up my leg, they don't roll, they don't like get stuck and go stiff, they're completely flowy. So I feel like I get a little bit more out of the length, so that's just something to note. But yeah, measure your inseam, consider shoes as well. So for example, if you've got a 33-inch inseam but you always wear a really chunky boot to a festival, these might be a bit short for you. But yeah, it's definitely not a top pick for me by any means. I've got pieces that I would rather wear as a beach cover up. They are then also dropping matching shrugs to go with them. So I got this in black, I got it in blue, nocturnal, and I also got it in white. Straight away, these look better in my opinion in the darker colours. I just feel like in the lighter colours it looks really meshy, if that makes sense. And being completely honest, I would probably only wear these with the mesh pants, like as like a beach cover up set. I wouldn't wear these to the gym. Like personally, I couldn't wear these to the gym. I just don't feel like it's my style. I don't really feel like it suits me. I don't think I'm edgy enough for this, guys. I'll be completely honest. The fabric is the exact same. So again, you've got that 92 nylon, 8% spandex. And again, the tags are the same. So you've got that little Alphalete tag there. There's no branding anywhere else on these pieces. It's very, very, very similar to the Aura shrug. I'll pop in like some measurements and stuff in a second, but it's very similar. The design is very similar. Everything's quite similar, other than the fact that obviously you've just got like a sort of stretchy cotton sort of feeling fabric as the seam on this, because obviously you can't make a mesh seam, so there has to be something as the bottom seam. So it sort of just feels like a cotton t-shirt, to be honest. It does have quite a good stretch to it. And yeah, and then it's got super long sleeves, very long sleeves. There's no thumb holes on this, which there is on the Aura ones. And obviously it's completely mesh, so it's completely see-through. In terms of movement, I actually find with these The back of this stays put a lot better than the Aura one does, and I'll show you what I mean now. The back of this one stays in place so much better than the Aura one does. The front, it still moves and you do need to readjust it when it comes back down, but you're gonna, if it's a shrug like this, I just feel like, how do you avoid that even happening? So I don't really want to rag on that because I feel like that's just what's going to happen. But I am quite impressed by how much better the back stays in place on this. This is longer at the back. There is more fabric on this one at the back than there is the Aura one, and there's a tiny little bit more fabric at the front as well. It's also a little bit tighter across the chest by about 1.5 to 2 inches. Again, I'm going to pop some measurements here so that you guys can see, but there are differences, but it's still got a nice amount of stretch. No thumb holes, which the Aura does have, and obviously it's completely mesh. I do think the black one looks the best in my opinion. I'm not a fan of the white or the blue, and again, as a result, I'll probably be giving those away, so let me know if anyone wants the blue or the white. The Aura shrugs and these shrugs, I always feel like I'm very much between sizes because of my bust, my over bust, and I store quite a lot of fat around here, so it can be quite tight over here in a size small, but then in a medium sometimes it's too big, and some of my Aura shrugs in a medium are too big, but then some of my smalls are too tight. Some of my mediums fit perfect, some of them are too big, some of my smalls fit tight. In my opinion, these fit tighter across here, so for me personally, I'm sticking with a medium in these. I feel like the medium fits me a lot better. It digs into here a lot less. I did get asked if you've got like eczema and stuff, if this would irritate your skin. It's not an itchy mesh, but it's also not super soft, and I do think, especially because it's like tighter across the bust here, it will irritate you. I did get itching in my armpits where like it was nipping in here in the size small. So you can try sizing up in these, in my opinion, especially if you've got a bigger bust and you store more fat in your upper body. But for other people, you'll probably want to stay true to size. But if in Aura, for example, you went with a size up, you would want to go with a size up. In terms of would I recommend, only if you're going to get use out of them. I'm personally not going to get use out of them, so personally I wouldn't recommend. I'd only wear them with the mesh pants as like a beach cover-up set. Other than that, I'm not going to wear them, and so personally I wouldn't recommend them. It's just not really me, just not really my vibe, and I don't, to be honest, I don't go to beach clubs enough to warrant me having this. And if I'm being completely honest as well, if I was going to a beach club, I'd want to wear something a bit nicer and a bit girlier than this. Like my Ibiza one, for example, that was a completely mesh dress, but it's like light blue, it's got a print on it, it's really girly, and it almost takes away from the fact that, mate, your dress is completely fucking see-through. So for me personally, I would pass on these. I'll probably keep the black pants, but everything else on this rack I'm gonna give away because I just don't really think it's very me. Okay, we're nearly there, we're nearly there. Another item that's launching is a brand new t-shirt. This is the Particle Tee. However, I'm saying brand new t-shirt, it's not groundbreaking. It's another oversized sort of pump cover t-shirt. They have actually changed these to turkey, and something which I did actually find nice about these was the swing tags on them, which I've taken off, but I just wanted to show you. They're like thick cardboard, like you can't bend these. It says Alphalete on it, and on the back it says learn with us, dream with us, be with us, which I love because they always put learn more, dream more, be more, but the with us, it feels like more of a community, and I'm loving a community vibe. I love my community, and I wish that Alphalete had more of like a feeling of like an overall community, like within Alphalete and also like with customers as well. We are Alphalete, a state of being driven by the pursuit of becoming more, and I just think this is like little things like this, yeah, that's a step up, and I enjoy it. This is made in Turkey, this t-shirt, just in case you were curious. In terms of fit, this is very similar to the Grime tee or the Republic tee, which fits bigger than, for example, the heavy cotton pump cover. So for reference, like a size small in this tee, the Particle tee, or the Republic tee, or the Grime tee would fit like a medium or large in the heavy cotton pump cover, so you don't need to size up in these. Like, as you're gonna see, they fit pretty oversized. So it's completely plain on the front, and as you can see, it's not like completely opaque like it is a little sheer, so if you wear like black underneath it, you will be able to see it. But it's got a drop shoulder, it's super oversized, super boxy, literally just a t-shirt. And then at the back it says Alphalete, and it says an Alphalete is an individual who inspires others to learn more, dream more, and be more, but it's got like spaces in between those. and this bit's obviously a bit fuzzier. It sort of reminds me of like a racing vibe, like a racing car driver vibe. And this sort of colour is very similar to like Titan or Rainfall or Ocean. So if you wanted to pair it, that would look really cool. In terms of the fabric on this, it's 100% cotton, but it's a lot softer than the heavy cotton pump covers. This feels like the grime tees. If you had those, it feels like that. And yeah, it's a lot softer than the heavy cotton pump cover tees. It's a very, like, it's not thick, it's quite light, 100% cotton, a little bit brushed. It's not completely slick, it's not like the performance tees. It's sort of like a middle ground between the crest tees, which are super brushed and super stretchy, and the collar gate tees, for example, which are like really slick. It's a hybrid between those, and I think it's really nice. It feels nice on the skin. It's very nice and like plush on the skin. Super soft if you've got skin conditions. It's not going to irritate them. It's not going to like aggravate your eczema. It's really nice and soft on the skin. But yeah, sizing wise for these, I got this in a size small. I would recommend you stay true to size. Obviously you can size up if you want it more oversized, but the size small is still very big on me. Like very big on me, and I'll pop the measurements in here. Now, something to note, I did actually wash this for you guys so that we can check shrinking and stuff. It did shrink every single measurement pretty much other than the sleeves. The length shrunk by 1 inch and the chest shrunk by about 0.75 inches. So with it being 100% cotton, it can shrink, but it shouldn't shrink continuously forever. The first few washes it might shrink, and then it should slow down, shrink a little bit. So I just want you to be aware of that. If you are really fussy about sizing and you need that to be factored in, expect 1 inch after the first wash at least. Obviously it could shrink a little bit more, so you might want to factor that in. But for me personally, I'm sort of out of my era. I hate saying stuff like that, but I'm out of my era of like tucking my shirt in the back. If I'm gonna wear a t-shirt, I'm either wearing it out or I'm tucking it all the way around my bra. So for me personally, I don't want a massively oversized one anymore. This is already quite big because I don't want that bulk in my bra if I'm gonna roll it all the way around. Obviously, if you're wanting to tuck it at the back and not have it sit weird at the front, you might want to do a size up, but you definitely don't need to size up in this for an oversized fit. It is an oversized fit. If you want less of an oversized fit, you can go down. If you want more of an oversized fit, you can go up, but in your true to size, this will fit oversized, and it fits about 1 size bigger, I would say, than the heavy cotton pump covers. Very similar to the grime tee. If you've got that, get the same size. Similar to the Republic tee. If you've got that, get the same size. It's nothing groundbreaking. It feels nice. It's just another t-shirt. If you've got a million billion t-shirts, you don't need this one. The quality on it feels nice. I like the swing tag. If you're in the market for a white or a black t-shirt, it's a good option. The branding's actually not too much either. I like the fact it's just up here. It'll come down to, do you like the branding and do you need another t-shirt? Because vast majority of gym girls, hate to break it to you ladies, we've got like 20 pump covers. You probably don't need another one. It's nice, it's not groundbreaking. Personally, it's definitely not a top pick. There's nothing wrong with it, but I just don't need another bloody t-shirt. But yeah, this is the particle tee. Okay, we then have some new girls tops. So that's unisex. These are all women's now. So I'm gonna go over the racerback tanks first. So the fabric on these is the exact same as the fabric on the like boxy crops from the last drop. So it's 50 cotton, 50 poly. Shrinkage, there is no shrinkage on these. I've put these in the washing machine and they didn't shrink. Details wise, I've got this in the grey and I've got it in Neptune as well. Yeah, details wise, it's very similar to like the sort of details of the last drop. It's a boxy tank cut top. It's boxy, so it's not tight fitting. It's quite like wide in the armpit. You've got the Alphalete little tag at the bottom on the left hand side there, which is a really nice subtle branding addition. Other than that, it's completely plain on the front. It comes up quite high here. It's very cropped. You need to wear a bra under this. With movement, you will expose a tit if you don't. So I would recommend that you wear a bra with this. And then at the back, it just says Alphalete Athletics down the back in a sticker. I've not had issues with my other one peeling yet, but I've also not worn it a lot. So just be aware these things can peel, especially like the really flat stickers. They're not the best in my opinion. I'm not a huge fan of them. Honestly, I wish that this just had the wolf tag logo and that was it. The only thing I would say, which is across the board for this drop, is the greys don't feel quite as soft. So Neptune is definitely softer, the white's softer and the black's softer than the grey. I think it's because the grey's got quite like a heavy marl to it. It doesn't feel quite as soft and stretchy. Now it's still soft, it's not rough by any means, but it just feels a little bit more, it almost feels like, again, if I chewed it, it feels like it would squeak. Like but it's only this colour. I think it's probably because it's got a bit of a mild to it. But to be fair, even with the Neptune colour, if you remember Topshop ladies, do you remember like the camis and stuff that they do where they looked heathered because they were like a little see-through? I don't know if my camera's going to pick it up, but from a distance the blue does look solid. You can't see anything through it, but it's not a thick fabric. Like when I'm going like this, I can see everything. I can see the camera, I can see everything. So these are lightweight, sort of like a boxy fit, but not too boxy. I actually quite like how these fit, to be honest. I got them in a size small. Sizing wise, I would say to stay true to size. If you want it less boxy, you can size down. If you want it more oversized and you want to maybe try and get a bit of extra length out of it because it is very cropped, you can go with a size up. But I would say generally true to size. I'm happy with them in a size small. I do get a little bit of the tent look with my boobs, but it's not too bad. And to be honest, I actually like wearing these tucked all the way around my bra. I just feel like that looks so nice. I feel like that looks really, really nice. I feel like it makes my delts look quite good. And in terms of bras, I've shown you in the try and clip, you're not going to want to wear any of the bras in this drop because you're going to be able to see them. You'll want to go with like an aura strappy or a halter neck, one of the ones where it comes around here, because anything that goes straight across with it being a racer back, you're gonna see it. Sweat proof, this is not sweat proof. It shows sweat a lot. It doesn't dry that quick either, so it does show sweat, and it will like catch the smell of sweat as well, which sounds really grim, but it does. So that's just something to be aware of. But honestly, there's nothing wrong with these. Are they anything groundbreaking? No. Is it my favourite top in this drop? No. I'm about to show you what my favourite top is. It's a little t-shirt. They're nothing groundbreaking, but there's also nothing wrong with them. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to sit here and be like, this is the best crop tank ever. Like, it's a cropped tank. Like, let's be real, it's a crop tank. I would recommend them. They feel nice on the skin, they're nice and lightweight, perfect for a cardio session. That's actually what I wore these for. I just wish that they'd stop doing this on the back, like the Alphalete Athletics down the back. I'm just not a fan of it. I'm pretty sure the black one, it's in rainbow on these, so it's like a rainbow font, so keep that in mind. Okay, moving on to my favourite top, like t-shirt in this drop, and it's these. Oh my god, I didn't think these were going to be anything to write home about, but shock horror, I've actually ended up really liking them. So this is the OT crop tee, and these are basically like tiny cropped little tight fitting t-shirts. So in terms of the fabric for these, the fabric is the exact same blend as the OT slip tank from the last drop. So that's super, like you can see, that's super thin, super stretchy fabric, very soft, very stretchy, but incredibly thin. So with that being said, these are very thin, they're not thick pieces. 47.5 cotton, 47.5 modal, 5% spandex. Anything with modal in, I said this in the last video, I'll probably like it. I just love how that feels on my skin. So soft, it's so stretchy, I love how it feels. To me, this is like the cotton version of Alphalete's ultra soft range, which if you've been rocking with them a while, you might remember that one. Really nice range. I wish they'd bring it back, but to me this is the cotton version. So with that being said, these pieces, I wear them in the gym, but I do believe they are meant to be more lifestyle. Personally, I wear them in the gym and I really like them in the gym, but they're not sweat proof. They're not like performance material, they are a cotton t-shirt, so keep that in mind. So I'm just going to run you through the details really quick. I'll show you on the grey. So you've just got a normal collar at the front, it literally sits how this t-shirt sits. Then you've got a little sleeve. The sleeves aren't like as short sleeve as this, like they're not as like perfectly long as this. They're actually, I would say the sleeves are in between a cap and a full sleeve. They sort of remind me of the baby tee sleeves, which I will put in a comparison for. You've then got the Alphalete Wolf tag on the front, and it does also like, it dips ever so slightly at the front, so it sort of curves a little at the bottom. It's very subtle, it does curve a little at the bottom, and then at the back it's straight across, so hopefully you can see that there is a little bit of fabric peeking through from the front there. It's ever so slightly shorter at the back, and then on the back this one doesn't say Alphalete Athletics, it just says Alphalete. In the grey it's black, in the black it's black, and in the white it's grey. So I do actually prefer how it looks on the white, and the black because it's not as obvious, especially the black, you can't even really see it. So sweat proof, absolutely not. Like I said, these are a cotton t-shirt, they show sweat, and they also hold on to like the smell, so you do need to, like, you can't wear these for 2 workouts in a row, you're gonna need to wash them. I do wear them in the gym, but I would say they're more of a lifestyle piece. For me, the grey is a little sheer, the black is a little sheer. The white, however, she's completely see-through. Do not get the white if you can't do a see-through top, because it is completely see-through. And with that being said, I wouldn't recommend going braless with any of them, because I feel like if the direct sun hits you, you will see your nipples. You'll see the areolas. You'll be giving the people everything they want to see. If that's what you want to do, look, I don't judge, but I'm just letting you know, okay? Now, personally, controversial opinion, when it comes to tops, I don't mind that look in a t-shirt or a long sleeve, because I actually sometimes like to be able to see my bra underneath. Like, I've got Skims fits everybody on right now, and in like direct sunlight this is see-through. Like, I can't wear it without a bra because it is see-through, but I quite like the semi-sheerness of it. But if that's going to bother you, get any other colour other than white. The other colours are fine. In terms of sizing for these, I picked up small and extra small. I would say you can go true to size or you can size down. I personally prefer an extra small. There's not loads in it, I'll be completely honest. There's not a ton of difference in it, and I'll pop the measurements in here so that you guys can see. There's not a ton of difference between the two, but I just feel like the extra small fits more of like a body fit on me, and I feel like the sleeves fit a little bit better on the extra small as well. The small, they're just a little bit loose around my arm, and I don't find it as like body fit I want it to be. So personally, I do size down in these, but I like a tight fit. If you go true to size in this, it's not going to be hanging off you, it won't be too big, but especially if you've got a very narrow bust, smaller in the chest and small arms, I would recommend you size down if you want this like tight body fit. But it's not going to compress you or anything like that, because it's very thin, it's very stretchy, it's cotton, it's not a performance fabric. Now, something to be aware of is these are very cropped. Like, these are very cropped, much more cropped than the baby tee, which I'll compare to in a second. It's a very cropped t-shirt, so if you don't like a very cropped tee, maybe you want to size up to try and get a bit more length, or maybe just leave it, because they are very cropped, like much more cropped than the baby tees. Not just under bust, I've probably got this much coverage then under my boob, but they're very cropped. In terms of like moving around and stuff, I do find that just like with the KDM zip tops, with arm movement, the sleeves do like gather like this. It's very easy to just pull them back down in place, and I don't find the sleeves on these as tight. For example, in the extra small of this, it's not as tight as the KDM sleeve in an extra small, because it's just super stretchy and thin, and lightweight and very much breathable. And I do find as well it does roll up a little bit, but it's not to the extent where it bothers me, and I actually notice it less in an extra small, which I feel like it just helps it stay in place more. Just to compare to the baby tees, these were 94 cotton, 6% elastane, and they're also just, they're a thicker, like sturdier fabric than this one. So they're two very different t-shirts, to be honest. I kept getting asked for comparisons and which one I prefer. I like both. I like these for when I want something that's not quite as cropped, and it's not a compression tee, but it does hold me in a little bit more. And I like these for when in summer, these are going to be great for when I just want something that's a little bit thinner. It's not quite as like hot, it's not quite as, I mean, these aren't thick, but they are thicker than these ones are. These for when I want more of like a sturdy top with a bit more length to it, and I can still crop it if I want to, I can just tuck it. These ones for when I want something I can just throw on, it's already cropped and it's lighter weight. They both show sweat just as much, like neither is more sweat wicking. They both hold on to that smell just as much, so again, you're going to need to wash them when you've used them. I like both. And if you're thinking, oh, I really want a baby tee but they're sold out, so I'll get this. No, if you really want the baby tees, they're restocking in September and they're coming in new colours, so hang fire if you do want a baby tee. They are coming back, which I'm so happy about, because if you look at any of my recent gym fit favourite photo dumps that I've been doing on Instagram, I'm wearing a baby tee in almost every single picture, to the point where it's embarrassing. I think I tagged one of my managers in an Instagram comment because they were like, they need to rename these to the Amy tees, and I was like, low-key, like, just give me, yeah, the baby Amy tees, the baby Aimley tees, that's what my dad calls me, baby Aimley or baby Ames. But yeah, these are coming back in September, so if you want to wait a few months because you would prefer something a bit longer, then wait for them. But those are the main differences. Sturdier, a little bit thicker, not as soft. This one is stretchier, thinner, softer, and more cropped. But I really like these tops. I would say this is actually one of my favourite items in this drop. I just really like them. They feel nice on the skin. The only thing to be aware of is the fabric can bobble, so don't wash it with fabrics that aren't similar to it. You want to wash it with similar fabrics. They don't shrink in the wash, because I've washed them twice now. They don't shrink in the wash. On body throughout the day, they do definitely stretch out and bag out a little bit, but not excessively, and I don't really notice it on the extra small as much as I do the small, so sizing down can help with that. As soon as you wash it, it goes back to its normal size and it doesn't shrink, so you don't need to be worried about that. They're not groundbreaking, just like I said about the racerback tanks. They're not groundbreaking. They're not like, oh my god, like this is like the most unique t-shirt on the planet. Of course it's not. It's a fucking crop t-shirt. Again, let's be real. But I do really like this, and you're going to be seeing a lot of me in these over the next few months until the baby tees restock, and then I'll probably be wearing both of them. So yeah, because I'm not loving a sports bra on its own at the moment. I'm really preferring to wear like a tight fitted cropped t-shirt over it. So I've been living in these and the baby tees. I don't know what it is at the moment. I'm just not vibing with sports bra only. Thank you so much for watching if you got to this point. I know it's been a long one, but there was also a lot of items to go over, like brand new fabric, 3 brand new sports bras, Amplify I didn't spend too long on, 3 new t-shirts, 2 brand new fabrics and ranges in terms of the mesh and the Taft stuff like the cargos. So I'm sorry it's been a bit longer, but it was a huge drop. And yeah, I've had this stuff for a week now, so I wanted to wait until I could test the items out, because I did have time with them pushing the launch back. So that's why my video is up like a week after I got my stuff, which I don't usually do, but I was like, I'm gonna utilize the fuck out of my time here when it comes to being able to test them. So yeah, I've been able to wear things like twice. The Amplify I've been able to wear before I went away, and I've had really positive experiences honestly with the Amplify, especially the Ride and the Neptune. I don't have any pilling on them, so I'm happy with those. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm really sorry it's been a long one. Make sure that if you're getting ads on these videos, you're watching them. Let's raise as much money as possible as we humanly possibly can. I also don't want you guys to think I'm taking the piss and just like, you raise the money for me and I'll donate it. I obviously make my own personal donations, but this is something that we can do together. I've never shied away from these topics. I don't think we should. I feel like everyone wants to be an influencer for like lip gloss and like hair stuff and activewear and all this sort of stuff, but when it comes to actually making like a really positive change, all of a sudden we can't do anything. We don't have any hold over people. There's no influence. I'm like, interesting take. So yeah, in terms of top picks for this drop, I would say my top picks are the Celeste bra. I really love the Neptune colour. I like all the colours to be honest, but I really do like the Neptune colour. Ride is a really good grey if you're a neutrals girl, but I would say Neptune, and I really do like the Gliese. Like, I like the Gliese in that bra. I don't know why, but Neptune is definitely my favourite colour. And white and black, I feel like in that top, it's such a staple lifestyle piece. You can't go wrong with it. So that would also be a top pick if you are not wanting a bright colour. That bra will give you a tit job in white or black, and it's such a staple. I love the KDM zip top, but I don't want to put it in my top picks because I'm not sure if that's going to be fixed, and also I'm going to be more excited for the long sleeve, and I know I am. Yeah, like I would put the KDM zip top in there, but I'm just not sure if that's going to be fixed or not. But yeah, Celeste bra 100%. Then I would say the crop tee, and I would also say Neptune colour Amplify. I really like that colour. Unpopular opinion, I actually prefer it to Rapids Blue. I feel like it suits me more. Like that aqua tone just suits me a lot more. So personally, those are my top 3 picks. Like I said, if none of these bras are for you but you really want to try the Tenacity fabric, please just wait, because there's going to be Tenacity in the next drop as well. So you're only going to be waiting until July, and there's going to be more Tenacity. There's going to be the one piece, there's going to be the full length tank. I think there's other pieces in the Tenacity fabric in that drop as well. Personally, I would wait if none of these pieces are screaming out to you, because you'll be able to try the fabric very soon in a product that you probably love a lot more. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions about any of the pieces, comment them below or message me on Instagram. I always get back to every single comment and every single message prior to a launch. Remember, the launch is a Thursday this time, not a Saturday. Code Amy will save you 10% off your order. Support me, support my relationship with the brand, and we're also going to be donating a portion of all that commission earned through that code from my retainer from Alphalete, from my AdSense going forward, from all my YouTube videos, all the AdSense from this video, to Operation Olive Branch and any other charities that crop up, as being really helpful towards Palestinian people who need a lot of fucking help right now, like a lot of help. So yeah, like I said, let me know if you've got any questions. If you do use my code, please message me on Instagram so that I can thank you personally, because you guys literally are the reason why I get to do this job, which I never even thought could be a job. It's like I get to spend hours, like I've been filming for 4 hours, stood talking for 4 hours. Like I'm literally the luckiest person in the world. So thank you so much. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.